interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you.
And now, coming to you from the classiest radio station on the air, this is
Minnow Town Hall.
Muchas gracias to Senor Soundwaves Photon for having created that. I'm going to keep playing that and thanking him all the time for having done that. Wow, to the last show. I mean, you guys really know how to find great Steemian artists. And in fact, it is the show that was on just before this that helped inspire me to go do the Sounds of Steem and the live performances, and also to go keep pestering the audience members to go join us on air and go sing, perform, play, whatever. Because that sounds awesome. What do I know? So a couple things, a couple happenings are going on. We had a resignation. Stitchy Bitch decided that she was no longer going to be a Minnow support moderator, so off she went. We thank her for her service, and that was fantastic. Glad to have her with us, and wish her the best of luck on the next sort of path that she walks. Next up, I created an account. The account is called msp-active, and I had been doing all these like individual delegations. If you go and look at my account, you can go to Steem reports. In fact, somewhere up here I have this. It's even set to my freaking name. Here you go. So if you're interested, these are all the places that I delegate to. I have something like 80,000 Steem power. I think I delegate 73,000 of it right now or so. And I think it's important to go give back to the community that gives me quite a bit. So, right now I'm powering down maybe 400 Steem power a week, and I am putting 1,000 per week into different projects, and I use that 400 to basically live off of, along with a couple of like the posts that I make. That's where my income comes from now, because I'm a full-time Steemian. But it doesn't take 1,500 Steem per week to go live. But what I like to do is take that Steem power and then direct it right back into the community. And I got a Bitcoin miner going, so let me go turn that off so it's a little bit easier. But what I ended up doing is I got rid of I got frustrated. I actually got really frustrated because I saw that some of the people that I was giving delegations to either went inactive, or they were simply going to they either went inactive, or what's the other thing that they did? Or they just started selling everything they made on Bittrex, and it was freaking killing me. So I changed the way that I do some delegations. And hey, Torco, it's me, it's Aggro. This is the Minnow Town Hall. And so I changed the way that I'm doing my delegations now. So I created this thing called msp-active, and I'm going to go give it's going to start at 5,000 Steem power, and I've clawed back some of the delegations that I've given, and then I'm going to go give upvotes to people automatically when they post. And this is a way that I can force active participation from the people that I delegate to, because if they're not active, then they don't actually get the benefit. So that's one of the things that I've done. I've added a whole bunch of people that I had previously delegated to, trimmed back their delegation, and now they have auto votes. I've taken some of the highest active people in the PoundNet chat rooms. I've added some people that are that listen to the radio a bunch, because I want to go add them. And then on top of that, I don't know, I went and I found some good people, I thought. So this is what I've done. How do you get on that list? You just got to be active. I mean, Zip, you're pretty new here, but you're on my short list of people that really ought to be on here. So it's not gonna happen on day one. I know I should have put Pitch A or Pink J or Minnow's brother on there, but we'll get there. This is my first pass. It's literally like an hour old, so I'm pretty sure that I didn't get it perfect, but I'll add folks along. All right, what else do I know? We didn't really have a moderator meeting this past week. I was away out in California, so that was pretty fun. I was visiting my dad. He's a Californian. I actually got him to I actually got him to go start participating on Steem, so that I thought was pretty exciting. Very grateful for that, and I don't know. I'm just happy, right? Like things are going pretty well. Um, things are going pretty well. We got really good people here. I actually got my dad posting, which is hard, right? Like, because my dad's a baby boomer, and the baby boomers don't like always care about this stuff. And my generation, I'm a Gen Xer, and we view cryptos as like the next financial coming of everything. And for the Gen Xers, they look at it pretty skeptically as a whole, which is bad because they're the people that have all the money. But we got to go get them involved. We got to go take those 60-year-olds that are, sitting on, 40 years of labor that's now as a, and they're looking for investments for this kind of stuff, but don't necessarily know what to do. I'm of the opinion that Bitcoin's going to go down a little bit further, but then after that, by December, we should be seeing something like $100,000 Bitcoin. So as you look to your parents and like, well, you could do IBM stock, and IBM stock is probably going to get you about a 10% return this year, and that sounds great. Alternatively, you could be like, why don't you go nuts and put some freaking money into Bitcoin and watch how that goes, and just notice that, yeah, it can be a little volatile, but if you buy in at the bottom, then you're going to be pretty happy. Yeah, it's like, we can all make a fortune being on here. And you can't do that with the stocks. I mean, one of the terms that I heard was that stocks are measured in terms of percent, whereas the cryptocurrencies are measured by your factor, like your X. So like everybody talks about, oh, like a 10 to 15% growth in stock land, but they all talk about 10 to 15x in crypto land. So yeah, I mean it's hard to wrap your head around, and so that's why I put out some of these posts that are just explaining why should you invest, what is it, where does the value come from, why should anybody bother, try to take some of the mystery away from this thing. I don't think that places like Coinbase make it easy for you, like because they want private bank info to even like sell you this stuff. The government now just took on I think I forget the number. It was on Zero Hedge. Let me go pull up this article because they just did another creepy thing. The government always tries to do these creepy things. Poverty, no. Day of reckoning, blah, blah, blah. Infowars, no, no. Coinbase informs 13,000 customers of imminent data handover. So what they did, the Fed showed up and they said, give us the data, or I guess it's the IRS. And they said, give us all your data on 13,000 customers. Fortunately, I wasn't one of them because I hate it when my data goes to the feds. Although I'm pretty sure because I'm an activist, they already track me. So it's not like they have anything new or whatever. But these creepy bastards. This is part of why, like, you know, you can't do that sort of thing with BitShares. And I know that people have a mixed feeling about BitShares, but BitShares itself is a decentralized exchange. So Coinbase and Bittrex are centralized exchanges, but there are but another place that you can go to is BitShares. And BitShares is a little centralized in the sense of like other Dan coins, the ownership of these things are a little centralized, but at least in theory, the program works in a decentralized way. And so I've heard stories of like Binance on some of the other exchanges have gone out and actually said that when big buying or big selling waves hit, they front run them. So like they're in there buying and selling before the customers can. And that to me is just totally shady, right? That's like completely shady behavior that they're involved in. Um, but you can't do that with the decentralized exchanges because like there's not one central authority for them. And that's part of why, I think it's such a freaking cool thing. All right, so what do I want to say here? I'm trying to get my brain in order. Um, Yeah. Okay. The so that's my story there. So we talked about Stitchybits resigning. We talked about MSP active. Um, we talked maybe that Bitcoin should go down a bit. I think if I'm really being honest and I look at this thing, I think, there's a resistance line. We probably have to go touch that resistance line. But just like we touched it the last time and fell, we're going to touch it again and then kind of take a hit. So that's what I see us doing. Um, I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but that's what I see in our near future here. But then after that, this thing, it seems like the Bitcoin doesn't like die, it just reloads. So, I know that we're going through a prolonged correction, and that's frustrating for everybody. But, um, you got to ask yourself, is this a correction or is this the end of Bitcoin? And to me, this is just a correction. We're still sitting up here at like $8,000, $9,000. This isn't the end. This is just us reloading. It's like a spring coming back down to fire off the next shot. So just hang in. We'll consolidate a little bit more, but then we're going up. And we're going to freaking take Steem with it. I've said a number of times when Bitcoin reaches $100,000, Steem's going to be worth at least 50, if not more. Um, I'm pretty bullish on this thing. There aren't other communities that are nearly as big as this. So I don't know. I think that we're in a good spot, and I think we're going to be okay. That's not advice. It's just me rambling about this shit. But I don't know. That's how I see these things. Um, all right. What else do you guys need to know? You need to know that you're listening to the Minnow Town Hall. If there are people that want to come on air, um, we have a waiting room. I don't know if I actually have a sound crew tonight because I think Rondon's off. But if you want to come on air, you want to go sing, I know that there's some singers in here, and I'd love to hear some live singing. Looking at you, Melavi. Looking at you, Zippera. I know you two can sing. Is Nathan still here? Nathan's here. I don't know if he can go play because he lives with like the snakes and the he's got snakes and spiders, and they just want to kill you all the time. So if you guys, I mean, that's just another way to say that he lives in Australia. So if anybody wants to go sing live on air, I'm happy to go have you. It gets recorded and I'll put this out there. How about non-music? Yeah, if you want to go perform, Torco, if you have a post you'd like to read, particularly poems. I mean, if it's, I don't know if these things are random or what folks want to put in here, but I'm open to a fair number of things. So if I don't know. Folks are welcome to go perform. Folks are welcome to sing. Folks are welcome to just talk about an issue. Folks are welcome to. This is an open hall. This is a bit of the Muppet Show, right? And I know that Petchy wants to do something. So if his internet holds up, but it starts by somebody like being brave enough and hopping into the MSP-waves waiting room, and then we can go do something. So somebody, we got Melody first. We'll see. We're gonna go pull her brave self in here. Melody, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound great. How are things?
Oh, perfect. That was easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, we try to make this thing pretty simple. It's just like being in Discord. All you got to do is talk and be a little brave,
Okay.
So you're thinking you're going to sing live?
Yeah, I will play you a song before I go to sleep because it's pretty late already here. But I made it to stay up for the show.
Now, not everybody knows you because this audience is not entirely from the last show. There are some people that are brand new. Do you want to just give us like a quick, who were you on Steemit? So maybe you can go put your link down there and then just kind of talk to us and tell us, what you blog about, what you write about, what you sing about. Just let us know something about who you are besides a lovely voice.
Yeah, so my Steemit name is Melavi. And I am posting my music actually for the first time because I never felt confident about posting videos on YouTube or something. But in this context, I do, and I feel I'm really grateful for this community because I feel people really listen here. It's a really beautiful beautiful thing to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, person after person that comes here from other social media sites gives Steam high marks and high praise for being a good community of people that will listen and interact, but do so kindly and respectfully, which I think is pretty exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are you feeling like singing? I mean, if you have other things you want to share first, we can. But what are you feeling like?
I will sing for you a song that is called Magic Window.
Okay, and what is Magic Window about?
Um, it's about um, it's about meeting a soulmate, you know, and it was kind of a prophetic song. So when I wrote it, I had that inspiration just struck me, and it was finished in like an hour, and I didn't know who it was for exactly. And then I was traveling some month after, and I met someone, and I got to sing that song on a campfire, and I said like, I'm so glad I wrote this song already, because otherwise I would have to do it now. So yeah, sometimes I have these music magic experiences where the songs just come to me, and afterwards they make sense. Like at first I don't understand, and then sometimes weeks or months after, I suddenly get it, what I was trying to tell myself, and this was one of the strongest ones. Yeah.
Okay. Um, all right. Well, I think this entire audience is ready and stoked to hear your voice. So, take it away.
Okay. We've been two souls floating around eternity, wondering about how it would be to become alive through this black hole. We incarnated in gravity, trying to fill out what we used to be in this pool of love. Then our lines crossed, and we fell in love with the melody. Our minds sang different harmonies that fit together well. And we learned there's no coincidence in life. When two souls recognize each other, and our human minds are programmed to hold on, but our spirit is prepared to let it go. But sometimes we find the magic window, yeah, and sometimes we just have to climb right. And on the other side, it doesn't matter if we're broken, oh, 'cause our pieces, they know exactly what to do. Now we are two souls moving around in the, knowing not if we are lost found in this crazy life. And it hurts to leave behind different parts of, with everyone that we fail to trust in this game of love. But I'll keep that moment seeing in you, independent There is space and time. If our lifetimes are not long enough to share, I feel better since I know that you're there. Sometimes we find the magic, and sometimes you just have to climb right. And on the other side, it doesn't matter if we're broken, no, 'cause our pieces, they know exactly what to do. They will be one floating again in eternity, enjoying the loss of complexity in our company.
Mel.
Yeah?
All right, you cut out a little bit here and there, but I got to tell you that was absolutely stunning. Um, there's just my ears fall in love every time I hear you sing. It is just so good. Um,
Oh, thank you. I didn't know in between if I was singing to myself at a certain point.
yeah, I mean it's entirely possible because people sometimes just drop out of this thing,
Yeah.
but no, I mean honestly, you were cutting out maybe every couple seconds or so, but even still, the sort of the tone of your voice, the softness of the guitar, it all came through. And I don't know, we're gonna have to figure out something to do in Discord because I'm pretty sure that it's Discord that is it's stopping your mic. So I'm sitting in live on air with you, and I can see that you aren't lighting up green for part of the time that you're singing. So there's something about Discord that's not great for music. So it's possible that I need to go do possible I got to start doing this by Skype or something. I haven't quite figured that out yet because when I do Skype, then I get different audio issues. Um, but man, your voice is just absolutely stunning. Thank you for coming on and performing here. And um, I don't know, I know you just made some people's nights.
Ah, thank you so much. Thank you for listening, appreciating the music, and that it's just such a lovely bunch of people in here. It's so I'm so grateful for all of you in there. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for singing with us. And um, I don't know, you're supposed to go send me songs as you write them or as you perform them because I'll go re-steam them out into the world. And um, I don't know. You have a gift through your voice, and more people should hear it.
Thanks a lot. I will then.
That'd be great. All right, folks, that was Melody.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring
Good
her back.
night.
Yeah, good night, sweet dreams. I'm gonna pull her back into the audience, but she's probably going to bed soon, anyways. I think it's the middle of the night for her. Um, all right, I'm looking for other people that want to come on if they want to go talk about things, if they want to perform either something written, if they want to perform something that they've recorded or that they want to do live. All of those things are welcome here. All right, Zip, if you want to come in, just hop into the MSP-Waves waiting room, talk to Rondon for like a minute or two, and just make sure that your audio is up and running. And then after that, I can I'll drag you all the way live on air. Actually, Ron will. So can you? There you go. And you're muted, so you have to unmute because that's what happens when you move from channel to channel. All right, so if other people want to go talk about Steem stuff too, I know that we're going to have 2 live performances, and that's pretty fun. And I'm welcoming others. I mean, I can see, I thought I saw Daniel Dye Music's in here. Thought I see Nathan Keys. I see Peche. I see, who else? I mean, Soundwaves does recorded music. This could be an avenue to go do recorded music, but and it doesn't have to be music. I'm just fond of music these days because basically I caught the bug from Crystal and Azaria and from Shane. Yeah, Torko, you're 100% welcome on too. I don't know what you're going to perform because it sounded like you wanted to perform something. But whatever, it's all, you know, it takes, we get to have breaks. We get to have whatever the show is just whatever the universe decides it needs to be. And I'll just, I'll just roll with whatever comes through here. We make it open, we make it public. People can talk about whatever they want. You can promote things, you can promote yourself, you can introduce yourself. So if you're brand new here, um, I don't know, Phonomo kind of put out a post that was slamming me for the AgX post that I've been making. So if he wants to come in and talk about it, we can do that too. Yeah, next time. I mean, you guys are always welcome. And I try not to put pressure on people. Like I do really like hearing the singing, and if I'm being totally honest, I'm partial for um, like voices like Malavi's or Zipras, which are these like soft-toned female voices that are just soothing as can be. Like that's just beautiful. But that's not a slight to Daniel Dye. I mean, you're welcome on here. You can perform on here, and I'd love to hear your music. Um, Trevor too. I think Trevor, were you the one that liked to push my buttons while we were talking? I can't quite remember. Um, all right. So what else? We hopefully Zipra is ready here soon and we can go get her online. And then Ron, you and I at some point got to go figure out how to make sure that the musicians Steemians sound as good as possible. And Crystal, you know that we're doing another event on the I put Azaria down as 100% yes, but on March 17th, we're going to go do another Sounds of Steam. Wait, no, that's not the 17th. It's the second week. So the second Saturday of every month, I'm going to go do Sounds of Steam, and the fourth Saturday or the last Saturday of every month, I'm going to do the Steam Witness panel. So on the 10th, we're going to have another Sounds of Steam, and if people want to do things live, I guess I'd even have them record themselves, and then they can hop in here. But that's the plan. All right. Yeah, the 17th, I said the wrong day, Torco. I don't know what I'm going to do on the 17th. I might even try to come down to Florida for that meetup. We'll see how we'll see how Steam does over the next couple days here. Um, okay, so let's get Zipper on here. She is in the channel and she's server muted. You are now unmuted. How are you, Zip?
I'm good. How are you, Agrad?
I'm doing well. Now, I'm assuming that Zippera isn't your actual name. This is an anonymous or a pseudonym.
No, actually, I might be one of the few who's actually totally fine with people knowing that is my first name as given, as seen on my birth certificate.
You're actually a Zippera. You're the only Zippera I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, it's actually pronounced Zipporah. The
Zipporah.
emphasis is on the second syllable. Yep. Everybody calls me Zippy.
Where does Zipporah hail from? Like what I don't mean to say where are you from particularly, but like what's the background of the name Zipporah?
Trust me, I've been explaining this one my whole life. So my parents are total spiritual hippies, met in San Francisco in the early 60s, and they are Sufi. I'm not sure if you know what that is. But Zipporah, so I'm the fifth of six kids, and we are all named either out of the Bible or the Quran. And Zipporah was Moses' wife, and it's also Hebrew. It means little bird. So that's why you'll hear lots of references to birds, because that's me. That's what Zipporah means. Zipporah is little bird in Hebrew.
All right. Well, rock on. Thank you for diving into that. You know, I was given 4 names, so I have to go run around and explain all 4 of my names all the freaking time. So
Yeah.
So I get it. So what are you feeling like singing? I know you're looking to get your voice going live tonight, and I'm so excited to hear it. I voted for you in the last show. I thought your song was absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping for I don't want to say a repeat performance, but just I'm looking forward to that soft tone of your voice. It's so lovely.
All right. Well, I feel called to. I kind of went back and forth with Ron. Hey, should I do one that's a little more cutesy, or another that'll like grab you by the heartstrings? And This is the one that feels like it wants to be shared, and I totally relate to what Melavi said, in that sometimes a song will come out and I won't really know why or what it's about. And this song that I want to sing is called Anchor, and it was one of those, and it's a song that just basically wrote itself in the space of a couple hours. And that doesn't always happen, but often it's just like the song wants to come through, and there you go, you have it. And it wasn't until a couple weeks after I wrote it that I was on a rooftop with my best friend since I was 17, and her mother had just recently passed, and she's lost both of her parents to cancer. And I realized that I wrote the song for her because she tends to, both times, she just totally receded inwards. And I realized that the song was totally about that, me trying to kind of reach in and offer her something, and let her know that it was okay to kind of be out there / in their inner space for as long as she needed to be, that I had her anchored. So that's a little bit of a backstory, which I don't usually get to give.
Yeah, it's very charming. My mother died of cancer at the age of 59, and it's been about a decade. But it's still, I swear to you, it feels like it could have been 4 days ago. So I don't know. I'm quite looking forward to this because that's my defense mechanism too, right? Have you ever heard of the Enneagram? Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Yep.
So in the Enneagram, I'm an 8, and so the defense mechanism, which is explained there, is armored withdrawal. So as you explain, as you explain what the process of your friend, I mean, I got some emotion invested in this thing already. I'm quite looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, I'll just give you one more little bit about it. That this is hands down everyone's favorite of people who know my songs. It's the most requested. And just in little situations, sort of like this, intimate gatherings with just a few people, it's often asked that I sing it, and it's usually a cappella, so that feels appropriate. So yeah.
So do me a favor. I think it'll work better if you can just hold down the push to talk key, because then it won't stop thinking that you're there. Is that something? So, can you do that? What?
You broke up right as you were asking me.
Perfect. That's all we need you to do. You're good. I'm kidding. Yeah. So,
what was it you want me to do?
Yeah, there's underneath where our names are at the bottom of the screen. You see your avatar, your name Zipporah. You see the mute button, the deafen, and then there's
the voice settings.
Yeah, user
Ron just
settings.
Had me go in there.
Now, are you on push to talk or are you on voice activity?
I'm on voice activity. That's what Ron told me to do, and he had me pull the sensitivity all the way down.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's actually a neat plan too. You know what? Where's mine? Automatically determine input sensitivity. I can turn that off. I can put my voice sensitivity up. Okay, I'm actually willing to try this if that's the way that this is going. I was going to tell you to do push to talk and hold the button down, but if there's a sensitivity
mode. Thank you, Ancapolo. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but you're very kind.
All right. Well, we're gonna give this a go. Anything else you'd like to say before you go, or are you just ready to sing your heart out?
Okay, Agard, did you just disappear, or did we all disappear? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Am I by myself out here?
Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh man. No, shit. Hold on.
Hello?
Hold on. I don't know what happened to my voice.
Hello? Did you drop me?
We hear you. No, he did something. We all hear you. You can go ahead and sing.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I think it was the voice sensitivity thing that I changed. It didn't like me. All right, Zip, you're up. Please go sing.
All right, guys. Here you go. This is Anchor. Sometimes gravity fails you, and down seems like so far to fall. You fear that you might drift away, and nobody would notice you were gone. The stars are drawing you near. Space is cold and deep around you, dear. It's a big sky, little one. And you're a bit higher than the sun. But there's a thin line inside everyone to guide our flight while we glide high above. Darkness is pulling you in. Your body feels starved of oxygen. Way beyond the Earth's atmosphere. So far now, you might just disappear. The stars are drawing you near. Space is cold and deep around you, dear. It's a big sky, little one. And you're a bit higher than the sun. But there's a thin line inside you, my love, to guide your flight while you glide high above. So fly, my love, 'cause I will anchor you. I will be the thread you tie your kite to. I'll weave the strands of you into my own and keep you safely grounded in my soul. My heart is drawing you near. A place so warm and sweet awaits you here. Oh, it's a big sky, little one. And you're a bit higher than the sun. So go on, fly so high, my love. Because that thin line inside you, my love, it is tied to mine. We are one. We are one. Oh, 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 we are one.
Well, that was absolutely lovely. Oh, I'm muted. God damn it. The audience can hear me, but she can't. Hey, that was absolutely lovely. I muted myself so that I couldn't say anything. So I'm talking to the audience, but you can't hear. Live radio, people. Live radio. Just doing the best I can here.
I wasn't sure. I was like, well, was that whole same thing Melody said? Did that just go into the ethers, out into the atmosphere?
Worst live radio show host ever. No, it went in. I mean, you can see people are, there's at least a couple responses here. Great emotion. Man, this voice and these lyrics makes me melt. So much emotion, so heartfelt, heart eyes. I mean, I think a lot of people could feel that. I mean, I think you'd have to be sort of a robot not to feel that.
I'm glad. It's actually kind of perfect because I just, like I often do when I perform, I just closed my eyes and it was like I was singing to myself, which I've been doing since I was like 2. So it felt good. It's like I just drew you all into my heart, and there you go. Very intimate perspective on how I work.
Oh, that was lovely. How did you find Steem, and then how did you find Steem musicians? How did you get to a place where you could pull all of us into your heart?
Well, I certainly didn't expect it, I'll tell you that. My partner had been kind of looking around. He started looking into crypto and he came across Steemit, and he right away kept saying, Zippy, I really think you should get on this thing. And he kept telling me about it, and I kept saying, no more social media. And he showed me enough. And I saw just a lot of really hastily crafted stuff. And quite frankly, mean, I'm a photographer of more than 10 years and pretty well respected for my work already. And I thought maybe there's something to this, and I'm just going to try. And I also just finished like a 3-year project and finally had some time on my hands. So I figured I'd give it a shot. And pretty much right away, it was actually Cabe Lindsay, who he is, I think, pretty active in the open mic community. He found my intro, my very first Introduce Yourself post. And he told me about the open mic community, and kind of right away, that little part of me that my music was always my first love. And even though photography is completely taken over my life, it is the thing that I'm most known for. My music has really just kind of been dormant. I mean, it's in there, but it's not something I've really shared. And I thought, well, here's a great opportunity for me to just pull my songs back out. And as soon as I grabbed my guitar and changed the strings, which were, I hadn't played my guitar in so long, the strings were green. and as soon as I pulled it out, I just could not put it down. It was like all of those years that I hadn't been expressing and letting it out, suddenly in earnest, like my soul was just latching on, like, oh my God, I've needed this. This is the medicine that I've really, really needed. And I just don't have words for how grateful I am to the community, because, I started playing again, and within 5 days, a new song spilled out of me. And it had been more than 4 years since I'd written a song. And that song was really raw. And it's, I have really intense chronic pain and sort of related depression. And for the first time, I really just let that out. Not so much in like writing a beautiful metaphoric story around it, but just really honestly giving a snapshot of what it looks like to sometimes not even be able to get out of bed. And I placed third overall that week, and that was my first, and I got the Curie. And to have that, this thing that was such an incredibly vulnerable share for me, be so well received. And I mean, the comments from all the judges and just so many people really made me cry over and over and over again. I shared it with my mother, and she cried. So yeah, I think you guys, even my older brother, who, by the way, Agro, I keep trying to tell you, you remind me so much of my big brother, whom I adore. He told me that when he first heard about Steem, he thought of me right away, because he feels like I'm kind of made for this platform. So I think maybe it was just time for me to find the community of people that would really appreciate what I have to offer. So thanks for being so warm in your welcome. I kind of adore you guys all a lot.
I think I think people that can be authentic will do quite well here. And I think people that can express themselves visually through photography that captures meaningful moments, and through performance that elicits an emotional response, typically because it involves an emotional sharing. I think they do really well here. And I have no doubt that if you can stick with this, you'll be a star in your own right. And
Thank you.
I think you just got to give it some time, because at first you might just be singing to an open auditorium. That was the phrase that Crimson Clad used, and it's really stuck with me, of like the very first post that people make, and they pour hours into them and nobody listens.
I've already experienced that, and thanks to you and so many other people who are here, I can see in the chat, that whole thing that happened with Grumpy Cat has been an incredible gift. But part of it's because he flagged something that was really, really, really vulnerable and meaningful for me, very authentic, and I spoke up about it. So to see then when I did that, just the rallying behind me, it just confirmed even more that it's totally a safe place for me to really be sharing myself and showing my heart. Just the absolute messy truth of it. I'm not going to try and show you only the good stuff.
Warts and all.
Yes.
But I think that's
Warts and all.
I think that's how this place works best. I mean, again, this goes back to authentic. You can't be you can't be perfect and authentic because a perfect person doesn't exist. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. We all hurt other people. We all, get overloaded, or we all break down, or we get angry, or we get too hurt, or we're just people, and people are allowed to be and exist and feel as they are. But as a number of people have noted, Steam is a really special community in that we are all incentivized to be nice. So instead of really vitriolic comments and anger and things towards violence, people do them, and they'll do it in the first week, and then they'll get all their posts downvoted, and then they'll say, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that here.
Right.
And that behavior gets regulated away until, I've heard some concerns, particularly Ron likes to cite this, of it seems to create a layer of plastic smiles around here. And, there might be some truth to that, but at the same time, what I think it allows for it, and what it enforces, is that if you want to come and present something that is different than somebody else is providing, it isn't, look, shithole, you're the worst fucking performer I've ever seen in my life, and I hate your face. It becomes of like, wow, I enjoyed parts of this, but I wish that you had done this differently. I did performer because I'm talking to a performer. I don't actually mean to criticize your presentation at all. So
I didn't take offense to that.
Good. But I hear it a lot, and it still gets me. It still shocks me just how good this place can be towards other human beings, and that and it's nice to see that. It is nice. It's nice to coexist in a digital homestead where people actually give a fuck, not just about themselves, not just about the rewards, but they care about other people. They care about the feelings of other people. Where else on the internet does anybody care about how you feel?
Yeah, forget about just the internet. I think that Steemit is just a microcosm of this bizarre planet we live on, and the way we've all been making it up as we go. People like to pretend, different governments like to pretend that they have it figured out, but the truth is we're all fumbling our way through. I don't think anyone really knows what we're doing. So I think that this is just rare across the board to find a place that is so incentivized to be kind, but not just kind. I would say that, Ron's point about plastic smiles is a great point, but as well, I think that it's not just incentivized to be nice, but actually to take your time, really read what somebody has offered, and offer something genuine in response. It's, to me, there's more there than just slapping I love this, because Facebook tried to do that, love love it, like it, react, whatever. But this is well, how about actually give me a part of your soul in response?
That sounds like an equivalent exchange. All right. Yeah. So, hey, you started this thing called diplomacy too.
I did.
Do you want to take a moment and talk about that? And why are you even bothering with diplomacy at all? And then why is Steem a good fit for this? And what is your vision for what this thing might look like?
It's a great segue, actually, because as you were saying, talking about just wanting to really show up for the community, that is something that has totally surprised me. Like I said, my reasons for actually jumping on were really pretty obvious. Okay, I do so many different things. I've got my illustration, my photography, my writing, my music somewhere back there. I didn't expect it to be as much at the forefront, but like I said to you, Agrod, when I sent you the invitation to the new Diplomacy Discord, sometimes we choose our roles and sometimes our roles choose us. And I think that that's what's happened here. And I'm just doing my best to show up for it, even though I'm I don't really, is that kind of what I'm being called to do here? But I just see a glaring lack of that kind of entity, of any sort of diplomatic entity on Steemit, and I see a lot of peripheral bickering and mudslinging, just totally unproductive. And even though there's this incentivization to be kind, there's also a lot of kind of petty, catty, back and forth. And this whole thing that happened with Grumpy Cat, and somehow I found myself in the middle of this ongoing strange feud between Grumpy Cat and Sneaky Ninja. And I had Grumpy Cat even DM'd me, which was quite unsurprised, or quite caught me off guard. And I found myself having these private conversations with both Sneaky Ninja and Grumpy Cat, and realizing that I was in this unique position of maybe being able to be some sort of emissary. And I had this crazy idea, like, maybe you guys should be on a panel. Let's do a live debate, which I, of course, immediately came to you and made this harebrained suggestion. And to make it even more harebrained, I had the idea that I should moderate, because I am so new. I don't have as much stake yet. And so therefore I'm, I think, quite a bit more neutral in my perspective than maybe some people would be able to be. And it's kind of just unfolded from there pretty quickly. I was also seeing a lot of like breaking down of communications between various people on Discord. And I thought, okay, I was given this nickname, the Ziplomat, at Burning Man 2008, just by a friend who observed that anytime I see some sort of disagreement, I'm always trying to go and like build some bridge, or like get the people to calm down and figure out how to talk about it in a way that's constructive. And I thought, well, this is funny. Here I am. Why don't I just create another account? So I've done that. I've created a secondary entity. Actually, it's like my third now on Steemit, but I created the Ziplomat and thought, why not like be somebody that people could summon me when there's some sort of unraveling disagreement that's happening, and I can try and come and balance it out, or try and mediate between people. But the other side to that is to actually create a space where people can come, and it doesn't have to be this publicly viewable back and forth. So I created a Discord, as if any of us need another server to jump onto. And it's just the diplomacy Discord, and there's a mediation room in there, a private mediation room. And I've just slowly been inviting people that I think will really get behind the project. And I think that I'm taking on probably a totally thankless job. I can tell you already, I'm going to get a lot of people upset with me, because generally when people are like really the instigators and really angry, they don't like you coming in trying to just gently tell them facts. Or like try to get them to look at things from a more pragmatic perspective. So I don't imagine I'll be that popular, and I can't tell you exactly why I feel like I need to do it anyway, but it has something to do with already wanting to give back to the community that has given me so much. And I've only been on Steemit for almost just a little under 2 months, but I already really genuinely care about the health of the platform. And if this initiative can in any way help us grow in a way that's positive, and I'm all about it. So that's what that's about, and I guess we'll see where it goes.
Well, I'm impressed by that initiative. I'm impressed by that desire, and I'm impressed by how long it took you to get there. Because in my background is that I took 8 months of being an asshat on the platform before anything really connected. And so I've done my best that I can to go help others kind of catch the Steem bug and catch a passion for this place, and realize what a unique opportunity it provides literally in this world. I mean, I don't know a lot of other communities that, I found it, I modeled the Minnow Support Project after a sustainable learning institution called the Chewonki Foundation, which is up in Wiscasset, Maine. And I've been a part of that thing for some 30 odd years of my life. And it has all these like standards and guidelines and things, but it's a place where you typically have to pay to be there unless you're one of the staff. And so what's so amazingly unique about Steem and this platform, and I think this Discord group to some extent, is that you can be here, you can experience this place, you can have nice things, build nice relationships, have it be meaningful, and you get paid for it. And that juxtaposition or that combination of like, one of my favorite jokes in the world is, hey, when you're in college, do the thing that you love. Because if you do the thing that you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Right.
Because that job isn't hiring. Right? That's the like the sad underpin at the end there. But here it's like, do the thing that you love, be authentic, be yourself, be kind to other people, and you can make zounds of money and be taken care of and be part of a community. And I haven't seen anything else like this.
Yeah, nor have I, which is part of why, just another little clue about me, those parents that I told you about, these very intense, like, spiritual hippies. I grew up part of my childhood on a spiritual commune where it was really about what can I offer to the community, and also, for that matter, my involvement with the Burning Man community. I actually am on their official doc team. I've been photographing for them since 2014, but I've been going since I was 24 years old. I'm 42 now, and that community has really made me who I am. And talk about an experimental community. It's all about decommodification and radical self-expression and radical self-reliance and gifting. And I'm actually thinking I want to draft a post about it because I see a lot of parallels. There's a lot that's different, but I also see a lot of parallels in that this is an experiment, and I think it's pretty incredible, and I really, really want to support it however I can.
Yeah, I want to get out to Burning Man. It is on my short list of life activities of where I need to go, where I need to be. There's not
Well,
a whole...
if you come out, I'll give you a ride in the little tiny art car my partner and I built a couple years ago. It's a tiny little wooden Hasselblad camera on wheels. It's built on like a golf cart chassis.
Okay.
It's adorable.
I'm going to be hard pressed. If I go out there, I'll probably try to go buy like a Volkswagen Beetle shell and go turn it into some Mad Max style war machine.
Well, yeah, there's actually a Beetle out there that's like 4 times the size of what a Beetle should be. It's impressive. I'll send you some pictures of it. And there's a Volkswagen like bus that goes around with it, and they are quite the pair.
All right.
Yeah.
So what are the parallels between Burning Man and here that you find? Is it, do you feel like Steem is good at radical inclusion, or like what parts of this do you think resonate?
Well, I've just started kind of digging into that. You might be able to tell I'm pretty introspective. And it was in a conversation I was having with my partner the other day where I can't remember exactly what the thread was, but the more I talked to him, the more I realized, wait, I keep referring to Burning Man. I think that what it is, there's a sort of anarchistic underpinning. Like, you know what? The way that is broadly accepted doesn't really work. It's not really working for a lot of people. It's not really working. Maybe it's working for the elites, but it's not working for so many others. And Burning Man has always had this very like, we're going to do it our way. We're going to build a city that's like in this sort of circular fashion, and we're going to change the theme every year, and we're going to make it about art, and we're going to change the rules. We're going to make up our own rules, really. And I think it's something around that what it does also, I think the primary thing that it does is that, like I said, the other place where this quality in me, this kind of innate diplomacy has really shown up is out there in that space, because what it does is inspire people to kind of look and say, okay, this gifting doesn't just mean some little trinket or a physical thing that you hand from yourself to another person, but really the true meaning of gifting is, what can I offer this community? How can I gift this community and make it a better place based on what gifts I have inside to give? And what's so interesting about like this diplomacy thing coming up is, yes, it came up there, it's coming up again. I have never considered actually doing something with that. But I actually found myself in the middle of the night, like voraciously researching local mediation training services, because I think that I would actually like to do this, not just on Steam it. And so I think that just like Burning Man is a place that has really given me some sense of how I can be of service in the world, so is Steam it showing me that I have more to offer than just my photography. And my photography is significant. You know, like I said, I just finished this project, and I just self-published a book about the children of Burning Man. Actually, it's a photo book called Dusty Playground. And my photography has so consumed me for so long that it feels really, really good to be drawing out these other things. And I guess that is really the primary similarity I see, is that there's something about these experimental communities that have some sort of anarchist underpinning thread that draws good stuff out of people. Sure, it draws a lot of crap out of people too. And in both instances, there are people who really kind of abuse the system. But yeah, I see a lot of that, and I hear a lot of people saying on Steam it, I keep hearing the same kind of creative revival that it's influenced in me seems to be pretty widespread. I know I'm not alone in that.
You know, with our school systems seem to beat creativity out of us. Like the desire to perform, the desire to act, the desire to create something new or think about things in a new way. Like the entire education system seems aligned against that. And so, and then when you get to like the professional world, the financial incentives seem so aligned against it as well. And it was never more obvious to me than when I was in Florida on a work trip, and I got an Uber, and the guy that was driving my Uber was a 3-time Latin Grammy Award winner. And and he didn't have enough money because the recording companies and whatever weren't paying him enough money to even afford the attorney that he needed to go write the next contract. And so he had to drive Uber. And if the Latin Grammy Award winning artist who had won multiple Grammys was at the top of his game, if he couldn't pull it together or didn't have the financial resources, then the entire game was rigged and broken.
Yeah, it is a problem. I mean, to again be completely transparent, because that's kind of how I roll. I also, part of the reason why I've like just given so much of myself to Steam it already is because I actually really need it. For various reasons, even though I am very well respected for my work, I'm down to beyond less than $100 in American money. And that's a terrifying place to be. I've got no work coming up on the horizon. I'm starting to build up my credit card debt, which I've never done. And I really, really need to do well. And I wish that weren't the case. It would be so amazing if I could just be earning stuff and powering up constantly. But I just don't have that luxury right now. So I can totally relate to that guy driving Uber, because I've thought about it, but I physically can't do it. I'm in way too much pain. So I can do this though. I can show up and I can write and I can offer myself in this kind of virtual place, because here's a nice one. My Steam itself doesn't have the same pain as my physical body.
What does that mean to you? What does that tangibly mean? Like when you're... Shit, we just disconnected. Hold on.
Did we?
On. BDC. Run. That's not the interview that I wanted to DC on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
No?
but I hear you through
Okay.
Discord, not through.
Ah.
I'm totally flagging him. Totally flagging for this. Reconnection successful. All right, it says
Okay.
reconnected. Can you guys hear us?
Can you hear us?
Well, that's what. Yeah, I mean that's the question.
Nope,
They're going
yo.
with no.
Wait, how do you say nope? It's funny because they're answering even though they can't hear us. It's like they
Well,
know what you're saying.
but no, I mean, I typed it in there. Am I dropping frames? No, 0.0 dropped. 0.0 dropped. Yeah.
Ron's on it. Ron's there. There he is.
Yeah. We got censored.
Well, while they're doing it, thank you, Agrod. I really appreciate this.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope that we can get you some money in your account so that you can continue to do shit around here but be rewarded for it, and I don't know.
Well, you've already been so incredibly supportive, and I just really take this opportunity to thank you.
What's the no helper? No. Let's do this. I'll go put you on. I was thinking of putting you on this thing anyways, but let's go get you on for 30, 10. Here. All right. So now you're on an auto voter. So that should help you go. I mean, you've been active in chat and you've been on a couple of these shows, so it was already my intention, but you just came on tonight, so. I mean, it's not, that one won't be a ton of money because that account is just starting and I haven't delegated. I do want to get up to about 20,000 delegated on that, but in the short term, I hope to get up to about 10,000, and you're on a 20% from there.
Well, I'm grateful. Thank you really deeply.
Yeah, well, glad to do it.
It means a lot, and I hope someday I can introduce you to my brother Abe because you guys would really get along.
The recording is still going, so be careful when you answer this. Like, what part are you in the United States?
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about saying that.
What region of the country are you in? I'm up near Boston. Are you anywhere near there?
Nope, I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, that's about as far away as you can get.
Yeah, we're pretty far, but you know, there's just a lot of reasons, and maybe someday we can really talk about that. But there've been moments, even just as you were chatting the other day, there were things. It was like your quick humor. And I was like, "What? Am I talking to my brother here? Or is this actually Agrod?" Yeah, it's good. It's like, oh right, I can sort of intuitively, instantly trust, or you know. Maybe I'm hasty in that, but I tend to trust my gut.
Yeah, I've certainly made a few mistakes doing that, but oh well. Let's see if can anyone hear us? Because I'm having a lovely conversation with this lady. You don't get to hear it.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh well. It's live on the website.
That's good.
Okay. Well, let's go do the HTTPS. Shit, I hope this is right.
Ron is certain that we're being fake newsed.
Yeah. I mean that's their default. Oh, we're back. Look at this. They can hear us.
Hi.
Hooray. Oh, why hello. So we've solved everything. We really figured it all out. Thank you for being here. All right.
It was funny anyway. You know, I got an opportunity to just like personally thank Agrod for being a totally awesome badass.
Well, you know, I'm only here because people support me and they like what I'm doing. So I'm grateful to this community. There's no way that I'm stoked to having found this. Like I was saying before, this place called the Chewonki Foundation was so important in my life and has been for years. And I literally ripped the community standards out of their booklets, like altered it to be sort of more internet ready and Discord appropriate. And that's how I founded this community. It's based off of some guidelines for sustainability and how we should interact with one another. And I, you know, I've never been to Burning Man personally, but after speaking to some people that were like really strong advocates, I kept thinking like there really are some good overlaps. I don't think it's perfect, but I do think that there's a lot of overlap between the Burning Man community, the gift economy, some of the tribalism that's there, and that idea of either radical inclusion or I don't know if radical creativity is part of that, but I think dragging people into the activity and being a part of it rather than just sort of passively witnessing things. I think that is a compelling aspect of Steem.
Yeah, I would actually say it's a great point because as far as the similarities and the parallels, that would really be another one, is that one of the 10 principles of Burning Man is participation. That, you know, we're not here to just be spectators, but we're here to, you know, gift and interact with other people. And it's changed a lot over the years. And there are people who really hate that. And you'll get a lot of, as with any community, oh, so much better, like blah, 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 so-and-so ruined it. But the truth is that it has evolved, and Burning Man is created by the people who attend, and it's different people every year. And now you've got like some 75,000 people who go there. So to say it's any one thing is totally incorrect. It's like 75,000 things. And that participation thing is really a major part of it. And also boundary pushing art. I mean, the innovation that you see out there, well, it completely will blow your mind. And it's like all the artists, some of the most incredible artists on the planet, are trying to outdo themselves and each other every year. Like how much crazier can I get, or what can I do, and how can I grow this and continue to blow minds? And I mean, I'm not sure I would be as fully creative as I am if that hadn't been a part of my. It's like it's made me who I am, in that I'm like, okay, I can make my life out of my creative gifts.
So I am frankly thinking about getting my family out there. I have a wife who I've been married to for, I think, going on 16 years now. I think we just did our 15th. It's either this one is our 15th or next one is. And I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. And you mentioned the Dusty Kids.
Dusty Playground. I just put a link in there. Yeah, this is this book. I've been dreaming about doing this book since 2008, and I'll tell you, the kids out there, they're amazing. And there are so many people who think Burning Man is just this hedonistic party in the desert, and I can understand why they think that, because that's what's gotten all the attention. It's really easy to miss the more subtly human aspects. And for me, it's never been, it's like a spiritual retreat. You know, I go there to like answer some of my deepest questions. You know, when I was trying to figure out if I was going to divorce my ex-husband, I had to go out there and just be in the dust, and that's where I figured it out. But the kids that I meet out there, I mean, they're like these dusty little sages who, if we're lucky, they're the architects of a better future. So I've been dreaming about doing this book for quite a while, just because I wanted to show the world how I experience Burning Man, and I'd never seen that represented anywhere. And the clearest way to show that was to show the kids.
I'm looking at the website now. I really like that kid in the goggles with a hammer,
right?
chipping away.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like a little.
Yeah, that little guy's name is Heron. His family, they're the Urbans. And they are, I mean, I've got to meet all these incredible families because of this, and really see, like, they would much rather bring their kids to Burning Man than Disneyland. Yeah. And there's all these families that are like that. You know, it's not some people, and I've gotten a lot of angry people, a lot of haters, because a lot of people think, oh, that's like child abuse to take your kids, because that they think it's just this, oh, there's people having sex in the street and everyone's naked. Oh my God, nudity. Don't let your children see people naked. Aghast, how terrible can you be? But the truth is that the parents say there are like lessons they're able to immediately kind of explore with their kids, because everything is so out in the open, that it's invaluable. It's like learning happens in real time there.
But there's a family section, right? Like one of the 10 or one of the 12 towns is like a family camp.
Oh, you're adorable. Oh, I love that. Okay, so it's one city, and there are like theme camps, and there's like, I don't even know how you would try and count how many different individual camps there are. There is a camp called Kidsville, And it was started by one of the co-founders, Harley Dubois, and she actually wrote the foreword for my book. But it has just kind of, she started it and it has grown, and it takes up like 4 or 5 blocks, which is quite a lot. And that's kind of the safe space where people can go if they want to be part of that. But honestly, there are people camped with their kids everywhere. You don't have to be at Kidsville. And I think at this point, there's something like 400 plus children that are there every year.
I mean, that's not a ton of kids.
Oh no, it's not a ton, but they're enough. I mean, that's what's funny, is that there are people who've been going forever, and then they saw my book and they're like, how come I never saw the kids? And parents crying, saying, oh, I'm going to bring my kids now. How come I never thought I could bring my kids? So it's been changing. I didn't intend for that, but it is kind of helping change the community a bit. And it's permissive, and it's letting people know that it's okay to actually like grow your family and let them be included in something that's really important to you, instead of feeling like you have to keep it separate. And you know, when I had this, again, it's like my harebrained idea to do the diplomacy thing. I was thinking about this earlier today. The last time I felt like this, like, what the fuck am I doing? Am I really about to take this on? Was when I was building my Kickstarter campaign to do this project. And it was happening so quickly, and there was so much support immediately for it that I was kind of terrified. Like, okay, this is happening whether I want it to or not. And I did a Kickstarter campaign and kind of catapulted myself into the public eye in a way that I never could have anticipated. I had Slate magazine contact me and interview me for their photography blog, and Huffington Post did 2 different articles, and other different magazines, and Fast Company used my photos. And it was like this. I wasn't ready for that, I think, but my campaign was hugely successful. I think 119%. And I raised almost $48,000 to do the project.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I think that people were really ready for that. I think there were a lot of people who didn't know how to help shift the public perception of what Burning Man was. And I came along and was like, well, I want to do this little project. And there you go. Now it's out there. The problem is now I've got like 1,400 copies left out of the 2,000, and I've kind of exhausted my reach, and they're all just sitting there, and nobody will give me a distribution deal because I'm not print on demand. So it's funny because I haven't even shared it on Steam because I've kind of been enjoying, after 3 years of it, I've been enjoying like, oh, I'm somebody other than a self-publisher.
Well, you are still a self-publisher on Steam. Don't forget that, yes. You know. But it's not book format; it's blog format.
Right. So yeah,
that's quite cool. I have a Kickstarter that I did as well. You more than doubled what I pulled in. I did it for a board game that was pretty funky. And I know how much work goes into that. I know how many like hours you have to spend. Like, you get done with the project, or you like have a book and you're like, I'm done. I'll go do this Kickstarter thing, and you don't realize like, holy crap, this is like, it's another full-time job, and all these people that want it this a specific way, or I don't know. It was a very intense experience for me.
Holy shit! It was insane. The whole thing has been insane. I mean, and the really crazy part about it is that I did every single part of it by myself, from, you know, creating my campaign to filming myself and doing my own audio and editing the video for my campaign, and building up the campaign page, and then running it myself, and every single day blasting it as far out as I could. And I mean, you have to be shamelessly self-promoting, and people's attention spans are like 10 seconds long, so you have to keep getting it in front of them. And then I had to do all the reward fulfillment myself. And because even though I raised that much money, I printed the book with these guys up in Canada. They're called Hemlock, and they're carbon neutral. And so my printing cost alone was more than $23,000, and that doesn't include like packaging or anything else. So I had to teach myself InDesign, and I designed it myself as well. And now at this stage, this is like I'm trying to find distributors. I'm completely out of steam, for lack of a better word. I'm so completely exhausted. I don't have it in me to be like, okay, now I got to teach myself how to be a badass marketer and distributor as well. It's a little more than I'm able to do now. So instead, I'm just giving all of myself to Steem it.
So one of my failed projects in life was I built a website, and the idea that for my website was I'm going to help all the people that are post Kickstarter have a functioning business, because half the people that do this love the thing that they do, but they don't have any business sense. And so I wanted to go create a marketplace, but I really underestimated just how difficult it would be to create a marketplace, because you have to, you got to get items in the shop, but to get items in the shop, you have to get people in the shop. And it's like, yeah, I wasn't quite successful enough to be able to go pull all these people in. So I didn't have a ready-made audience for this thing, but I do know that I'm quite confident that I could go, that there's something there to go help people, that would be interesting to the people from the Kickstarter community. And eventually I'd really love to see a Steem starter where okay, let's go do that, but let's do this with crypto and take yet another step away from the fiat system.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. Nathan is totally ready to go. You guys have been super generous with your time, and I would just say, yeah, if anybody ever wants to talk about crowdfunding or have any questions, or self-publishing for that matter, and actually physically creating a book, feel free to reach out.
How many pictures are in this thing?
I don't know how many pictures. It's 144 pages. Very image heavy, so there's images on every page. So I would say at least double that, probably more like 280 or something like that.
I mean, these photos are quite, stark is one of the words, but they're crisp, but they're also
soft.
They're very engaging. I mean, I'm just scrolling through the website here. Did you bank the website too?
I did, of course. That's how I roll. Apparently, I do it all myself.
Nice. All right. So, okay, let's go. It's probably
Nathan.
Yeah. Let's go to Nathan. Let's get some more music. Yeah. Let's get another conversation going. And Zipra, I'm a fan. Let me know how I can help you. Give me some posts. I'll go re-steam them. And I want to help you try to be successful here. So you got a buddy here. I'm on your side. Let me know what I can do to help.
I appreciate it. You've already done so much. Thank you all for being so gracious.
Sounds good. All right, guys. That was Zipporah, Burning Man, preeminent photographer and changer of attitudes towards children and what that place can be. The Ziplomat, Zippy, and the lovely, absolutely lovely voice. Very fun to go have her here. And with that, Nathan, this is a rough way to go follow, but for some reason I have faith that you are quite up to the task. How are you this evening?
I'm great. It's daytime here though.
I got to tell you, your music as well, I just found totally captivating. And then because you submitted, when we were doing Sounds of Steem, you gave us a YouTube video, and I was able to go watch you play the slide guitar, bang on some foot pedals to go get the different sounds in there, and then also slam some reciprocal breathing into your didgeridoo to go get the didge up and running. It felt like Bob Dylan, but sort of like next level steroid enhanced Bob Dylan of oh, you want guitar and harmonica? Fuck that. I'm going to give you didge, slide guitar and foot pedals, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, you should. I tell you what, you should hear that didge cranking through a big festival sound system. It's a whole nother. It's sorry to be for the profanity, but it shakes my balls.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
And that's when I know the audience is feeling the vibration and their bass chakra is being activated.
Nice. So, what are you? Are you doing something similar for us tonight? Are you gonna shake my balls this evening?
I've just plugged in my lap steel slide guitar into an amp and I'm just gonna I was just gonna sing a soft song for a change because I'm always doing these kind of big tunes and so just a different pace.
There's a part to your didge that reminds me of Mongolian throat singing. Does that ring a bell? Does that resonate to you at all, or do you think I'm nuts for that?
Well, it I think they both resonate in the same kind of frequency range. And if you were to look back into the shamanic traditions of both cultures, Aboriginal culture and the Mongolian and the Tibetans who were doing throat singing, you'll probably find it's tapping into exactly the same. I'm getting a bit deep here, but in an esoteric, spiritual way.
Let's do it. I was gonna go follow with these questions anyway. So hit us with the explanation. I mean, if you're gonna go use root chakra, then I'm going to assume that you have some idea what chakras are, which then makes me think that you know something about spirituality and sort of non-standard Judeo-Christian belief systems of like energy, chi, or anything else. So I wanted to go there anyways. So tell us what the didge and what the throat singing is doing to activate within us, and then let's talk about your background there and why it might be important to go activate these things anyways.
Well, it is because I am a cryptocurrency crypto guru. I'm just joking. Okay, just joking. Yes. On a serious note, I always take it to a bit of humor, by the way. On a serious note, my stepfather was Aboriginal, and one of my best friends in my teenage years was a didge player, and I didn't actually touch the didge. I just played guitar and sang, and he would play, and I didn't feel it was my place to touch or play one at that point. And then a full-blood tribesman from the Pitjantjatjara tribe came on walkabout, stayed at my place, and gave me a didge. I was 17, and he gave it to me. He didn't show me how to play it. And then he went on. He didn't speak much. And then,
I mean, that counts, right? Like in the grand scheme of things, that's a moment where you're like, okay, universe, I get it. Okay, I give in. Thank you. I will master this.
Yeah, absolutely. He said to me, we same color underneath, under the skin, and you've been blackfella before, is what he said. And then I got circular breathing within a few days, teaching myself.
That normally takes longer, doesn't it?
Yeah. Without guidance, it usually probably would take longer. But I mean, I'm not going to. It was an unusually short amount of time to get circular breathing, but getting circular breathing and mastering it are two very different things. I have to put that caveat in there. It takes years to really master it. But that started my journey, and I had an interesting experience where I had a few didges. This is a few years later, and I started playing didge on other people in private, just and it was really interesting. There was a certain type of didge that wanted to go on a certain place on the body, and then a couple of years after that, I met my first eldest daughter's mum, and she was a bit of an expert in chakras. She had a reputation around the world for teaching chakra dance, and then I learned about the keys. And the fascinating thing was that the keys that I'd been playing, the keys of the digits that I'd been playing on specific parts of the body, exactly corresponded to the Indian chakra system.
So hold on. My understanding of a dig is that it's basically just, for simplicity's sake, more or less a hollowed out, like a walking cane. You know, it's just like a stick, and it's hollowed out, and you know, it's maybe if I took my fist, made a ball, and then took a drill and made that drill go 4 feet deep or something, that would be roughly what a didgeridoo is. But you're adding keys, and you're saying on different parts of the body. I don't quite understand how that works. What does that look like, or what is it that you're physically doing with the dig to hit keys,
so,
or have it be?
Explain, yeah, it's a good question. I probably stepped a few hundred leaps ahead there. The didgeridoo is a tree branch or tree trunk that has been hollowed out naturally by termites, and then the Aboriginal folk, they chop it down, they smooth out one end, and sometimes put beeswax on the end, and then buzz their lips like blowing a raspberry, but in a very controlled way. I don't know if you can hear that, but
yep,
kind of like. And there's a Dreamtime story that goes with that. There was a tribe that was being plagued by a kind of a demonic spirit, and there was a young girl called Yadaki, and they used to use the hollowed out logs, which end up being called didgeridoo by white folk, by the way. It's not the traditional name. That was a name given to it by a white anthropologist. But they used the dig to put a certain type of sap in, and they would blow that sap into the water in a creek or a pond it lowered the oxygen, and that particular sap had like a tranquilizer in it. So the fish would just float to the top, and they'd pick the fish off, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And then one day, Yadaki, she blew in the dig without it being in the water, and it made that sound, right? And there's a couple of Dreamtime stories that mix into the one in here. And then she took a breath in, and there was some termites and dust still in the stick, and she sucked in all these. It went into her lungs, and then coughed out and blew through the dig and the termites flung into the firmament and like created the stars, basically. The other part to it is that the spirit that had been plaguing their tribe, the sort of demonic spirit, got sucked into the didgeridoo, but she couldn't circular breathe, so it would escape every time she stopped playing. She went down to the beach, and the whales were there doing their song, but they would do circular breathing. They would blow out of their top hole and breathe in at the same time. And that gave her the idea that they were basically communicating her the idea to do circular breathing through the mouth and nose. And that's how she ended up catching the little demonic spirit. Anyway.
Okay.
That's a very long-winded story. I haven't told that story in a long time.
Does the demonic spirit still inhabit all of Australia?
Oh, no. This was just a little kind of, I guess, like a pan-like, not even pan-like, a cheeky kind of, I don't know, another cultural example, but my mind isn't working right now. Yeah, but I mean, they, I guess, understand that everything has spirit in it. Without going deeply into Aboriginal spirituality, I mean,
you're welcome.
It's quite a complex system.
Go right ahead. There's this can be as much of a spiritual lesson. I mean, I don't know how many people in here are going to be able to go get Dreamtime stories of Aboriginals passed down, to be able to hear about either the creation of the universe, the use of the didgeridoo, or anything else. It's fascinating, and
Oh, cool.
if the audience doesn't like it, then they can kindly fuck off. This is pretty cool. So share what you have to share, and then when you're ready, you can play.
Okay, cool. Yeah, look, and I'm not going to profess in any way, shape, or form that I'm an expert on Aboriginal Dreamtime. I have an understanding of it. I resonate with it, but I resonate with a lot of mystical traditions that exist around the world.
Is Dreamtime so? Is Dreamtime different than just having a dream? That last sentence makes me think that this is more of like an altered state where you're communicating through the ether in a way that is much more raw than how the current human brain experiences it, or how like city folk would.
Well, we kind of westernized people, or not even westernized, what Daniel Quinn refers to as the taker culture, and a lot of indigenous people around the world refer to us as taker culture. We exist in linear time, so we're stuck in a belief of past, present, future, whereas many indigenous people, particularly in the Aboriginal Dreamtime, Aboriginal culture, they talk about, or they exist in a circular time, a circular way of understanding the universe and our world. So Dreamtime is often referred to as a mythological history by white folk, but it exists concurrently as we do now. So it's so hard to explain. That's because they believe that they understand our universe to be in circular time, as in there's no past, present, or future.
So how does that work with, like, I got a calendar. My calendar tells me that today is Feb 25, tomorrow should be Feb 26. But how does the concept of circular time mesh with, it seems like there are days that go by every single day, and that I am older
and we age, and yeah. No, I get that. I actually, from what I've gathered over the many years, is that even though they seem like a contradicting understanding of the way the universe works in time and space, in time and matter, I think they exist concurrently. But if you look at all of the elements of the universe, everything goes in a kind of it's circular, but it's circular and spiraling. So the whole mechanizations of the universe is spiraling. We understand that from both astronomical Western science perspective as well as an astrological perspective, regardless of which, whether it's Mayan culture, ancient Druidic culture, Egyptian, the Kabbalistic Jewish traditions, all of that kind of stuff. Understand. Someone's just written, it's such a trippy concept. Yes, it is. That even the ocean, even the way nature shows us things, it's in two types of ways. We exist in waves, and we exist in circular spiral motions. So it's like the nature gives us a hint about how the universe actually is, but because our mind is conditioned, it's inculcated, but depending on what cultural background we come from, we can only see through the filters that our cultural background determines for us. Is everybody getting that, or am I going way out there philosophically?
Well, it might be a weird rabbit hole for some, but I got to tell you, there's a physicist by the name of Dewey Larson, and when he was like an engineer, and he's basically looking at all of physics and modern physics and the way that it's described, and he keeps coming up to these things that are like, physics fails to explain this. There's a red shift from the light in the stars, and it doesn't make any sense why it would be there. The background temperature of the universe is 3 Kelvin, not absolute zero. Why is that there? there were it would seem that certain magnetic properties and gravity, and certainly our inability to go solve gravity and actually really determine what it is under the current system, seems to fail all the time. And he came up with a system called the reciprocal system, where he says that when you are moving slower than the speed of light, you have three dimensions in space, up, down, left, right, and one dimension in time. And then when you are moving faster than the speed of light, you actually go into this reciprocal space where there's three dimensions in time and only one in physical space. And and so there's a movie called Interstellar, which actually is one of like the closest ways that I've ever seen somebody represent this, where like he gets sucked into a time vortex or something, finds himself in this giant stairwell, and basically as he moves up and down the stairwell, he's able to see different snippets of time. And in such a weird way, one could think that both time and space, and the sort of linear 3D time and the linear 3D space actually coexist simultaneously, but it is a matter of, in his system, it's explaining that it's when you're moving faster than the speed of light. But he's also quick to say things about like consciousness, and how consciousness might not be, it could be like more of a quantum effect, or not standard physics, so that your brain or your soul or your essence might be able to experience these things even if your physical body can't. Which is all to say that there's at least one physics philosopher that I've listened to that I think has a much better sense of how the universe actually operates, that would then go along with some of this Aboriginal thinking, or dreamland, dreamwalker, something like dream time, and start thinking about how you could live in the moment in a linear space and a linear time, and also simultaneously be able to access the great circular time wheel as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Aboriginal folk had, I guess their perception of the world is more in what you were just talking about. It's more from the other perspective, and we've, in the last 200 years, tried to drag them into seeing the world from our perspective, and that's why there's still, and this is with most Indigenous or all Indigenous people around the planet to a more or less degree, but Aboriginal people being probably the most ancient of all the cultures of humans, still very much existed in that space. What you alluded to just a minute ago, a second ago, was about consciousness, and that is a whole nother level of getting your head around. That consciousness itself creates what you perceive, or how you perceive something is how it actually is. I mean, when you look at quantum physics and the double slit test, the double slit test, I don't know if people out there know about it, but they basically proven with the double slit test that whether you believe in molecular particles, or whether you believe in waveforms as being the quantum level of our whole universe, it really depends on your belief of it. We are all just imaginations of each other. Can I bring it back to, because we're just like racing ahead here, and it's a great conversation. I love this kind of stuff. But I'll bring it back to a level that everyone get their heads around, which is bringing it back to the didge and how it related to Indian culture, the Indian chakra system. So the vibration played from the didgeridoo, or any instrument or any voice, movement 19, I'm high. The correlates with what the Indians call the chakra system, right? So the base chakra note is C, and so I found out purely through intuition that certain didges that I had resonated with certain chakras, but I didn't know about the chakras at that time, and I found out later. and that's what bring me back to that journey with that particular instrument. So that instrument brings me into it grounds me, but it also, depending on how I play. So if I play a really fast percussive beatbox style, which some of you have heard me do, that I'm pulling in large doses of oxygen. Oxygen is a stimulant at fast succession, so it's like a controlled form of hyperventilation, and it gets me quite high and energized. So before I go on a dance floor or something like that, I would play fast didge. On the other end of the spectrum for meditation, I would play a very slow didge and let the carbon dioxide levels rise in my bloodstream, and carbon dioxide is relaxant. So for me, it's a very personally therapeutic instrument. Do the elders permit beatboxing? This is a good question, Occupy Wallets. When I've gone to Aboriginal reservations and played, apart from the fact that they're very welcoming people, and they loved it, what the elders recognized, because a lot of the youth, Aboriginal youth culture, they're very much obsessed with Black American hip hop and rap and that kind of stuff. So when I came along and started doing the into a didgeridoo, and they saw how the youth were responding, they were so happy, because they felt like their traditional culture was being lost on the youth, and so yeah, they were very happy about it. Yes, more beatboxing. Okay.
All right. Well, now I need to hear music. Let's go play.
Okay, dude.
I want to hear what you got. This is awesome.
Can you hear that? Okay.
I can. Are you going calm mode? Or are you going beatbox mode?
I'm gonna do something chill, just because we were doing a very philosophical kind of stuff. I'm gonna do that first, and then I can do some beats after. But so this song, I wrote this in China. I was on tour in China, and I was on a sampan on the Southeast China Sea just after a gig. It was a really big gig. I played at the People's Liberation Army barracks to like 4,500 people. That was trippy enough as it was. And I was high. I'd taken a whole bunch of MDMA and spliffs, so that even more trippy. And I'm sitting on this sampan, and sampan is like I guess like a water taxi or ferry, with my lap steel. And I just got a message from my then partner that she'd left me for the drummer in my band. And I was looking out over this Southeast China Sea, and the full moon was reflecting in the water, and this song came through, and it was dealing with pain and dealing with anger and all of those things. So it's called Face My Pain. Across the sea, raise your face and circle laughing, hiding. Each tear you mourn, was only one action. That's why I must face the consequence of my reaction. Face my pain. Face my pain. Face my pain. I will gain peace of mind. I can't run away. I can't hide. I can't run away. I can't hide. Too tired to run away. I try. I'm right on the last ferry. Across the sea of rage, facing troubles I've been hiding. It's too clear home. Each must down be wrong. Action. Why I must face the consequence of my reaction. Face my pain. Face my pain. Face my pain. I will gain peace of mind. Came from me. I can't hide. Came from me. I can't hide. Sometimes I'm running away. I try.
Well, that was awesome. You got you got some comments of this is amazing and good stuff and jungle influence and
thanks, folks. I haven't played that in years. Wow.
It felt like it brought some stuff up for you.
Yeah, you know, I think it's like songwriting
and playing music.
Talking with the echo chamber was pretty funny.
Talking with the it is first and foremost, it's a process for me of healing, you know, for me personally, and I just set the intention for that for others as well. Hopefully others connect and then they get, you know, some form of healing or insight. And so in that sense, music is medicine. Yeah. So, and some people were going, oh, what about the beatboxing earlier? So. Just for shits and giggles, like, you know, that's grand.
Because why not?
Yeah. No, someone else was saying, why is he singing in another accent? And I like, well, fuck it. I'll sing in Scottish next time if it helps.
Yeah, as long as you're singing about freedom.
They may take our lives, but they'll not take our freedom.
That's right. Or our dig.
That's crazy. Damn.
Well, this was man. Honestly, I have to go thank Crystal and Azaria and Shane, because they really sucked me into the Steem music community. I don't mean to steal any of their thunder. What they do is quite awesome, but I do want to give a space for people to perform live. I mean,
thank you.
I'm really enjoying this, and I really like mixing the conversation with the artist with the sounds and the music that they create. The guy that created D Sound has one of my favorite quotes about music ever, and he says, "Music is what emotions sound like," and that really comes across between Mel, who was singing earlier, and Zip, who was singing earlier, and you, like the people that are really bringing a compelling performance to this audience are also the people that are bringing a impassioned presentation to us as well. So thank you for that sharing.
Thank you for opening the platform for all of us to share. You know, you can write music for yourself and you can play it in your own bedroom. I'm sure some of the other musicians know what I mean when I say that. When you share it with others and they actually receive it like they do here, it's like the initial inspiration from whence it came just expands 1,000-fold, and you feel like, wow, this is what Soul Purpose is about: connection. I'm also trying to read the comments while I'm talking, and
it's distracting. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard. Imagine doing that and also trying to, like, all right, where's my next show guest? I got to go make sure that my OBS is working. Whoops, can't type because I haven't turned off my mic. Here's my next music selection. This is absolutely the Muppet Show for me, but I fucking love it. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. And you know, like, I'm so new here. I keep saying this, but I'm so new here, and I didn't know what to expect. I guess I had a lot of skepticism because I've been quite disenchanted by Facebook and YouTube, and like you guys were talking earlier about how it almost fosters negativity. It fosters the armchair expert and that kind of stuff. So people feel the need to criticize stuff that they probably wouldn't do if they were face to face, or they start arguing for over really silly things, or they feel like their opinion is important. Everybody hears my opinion, rather than like here in Steem, there's like this positivity. So I got, I've been quite disenchanted with all of that, and it was Ben Lee, a friend of mine, Ben Lee, who's a famous musician here in Australia. I've known him for a number of years. He's the one who told me about it, and so I went, okay, I'm into crypto. I want to check this shit out, and I jumped on, and then it was either him or Crystal that put me onto open mic, and I was looking at that going, wow, this is cool. And what was really cool about it was the level playing field, in that there's inexperienced musicians sharing their stuff, and there's experienced musicians and famous musicians. Everyone's jumping in with their heart and their soul, and they're going, here's a piece of me. And I don't know, it seems like the game has been outside in the music industry. The game is it's fixed, it's like, but here there's just this, I don't know, it's a beautiful mix of everything, and I love it. And suddenly there was silence.
No, I'm just, I'm not sure that I have any response other than affirmation to that. That is,
Yeah. I look, for me personally, and I haven't told many people this, that, when my youngest daughter was born almost 2 years ago now, I thought, I better take some time off touring, because I don't want to be away from her in these early years. And then my partner, she got her job, then stepped her up as the manager and all this kind of stuff. And I became full-time dad 4 days a week. And in fact, that's what I'm doing today. And I've just had to go and distract my baby girl, put something on the box, which I don't like doing often, but I did that so I could be with you guys, be present with you guys. And it's really lovely to be present as a father, but it was really difficult to let go of my my passion and of touring. And now, after a couple of years and going, I'm finding it really hard to book gigs. And when you've been working something and it's been your sole form of living for a couple of decades almost, it's really scary to suddenly find that you're almost at square one again. And that made me sort of collapse in myself emotionally a bit, because I held my value as being able to share my music with other people. And then I get introduced to Steem It, an open mic, and everyone embraces me and makes me feel like I'm back on my life purpose again, And yeah, so I'm getting a bit emotional now. So anyway, I'm really grateful.
Well, we are grateful for the opportunity and the experience to hear you play, to hear you philosophize about the music, to bring the spiritual background to this. To listen to the music is a wonderful, beautiful experience, and the didge combined with the beats and the slide guitar, it's so fucking good. But to hear it on the level of the creator with the spiritual intention to go heal others through the pain that you yourself have been through and share some healing process through that, and to know that that's baked into this music that we're listening, and maybe even be more receptive to that. That's why I really value being able to sit here and kind of dive into your consciousness for 30 minutes and then experience your heart afterwards, so that we can all receive the benefit of both of those and walk away better, more expanded people, and see where that lesson takes us over the next however many years of linear time and the ultimate infinity and circular time.
Well, that's it. I mean, what you're alluding to there is probably the thing that has gotten me personally through some of the tougher times over the last couple of decades of doing my career, was that if whatever it is that we're passionate about, if we have the underlying intention of understanding that when you follow your passion, when you do that thing that gives you the wings to fly high in life, it affects other people in a positive way. And that, we're 6 degrees of separation from knowing everybody, right?
Yep.
So in a very real sense, when you're doing what you love, and you'll get really fucking good at it for a start, because you'll dedicate your time to it. And that will be appreciated by others, but it's the actual fact that your heart is in a happier place as a result of doing your passion that rubs off on other people, and then they're inspired to do whatever it is they want to do. And so a lot of my songs, and my intention underneath the songs is specifically about inspiring that. In fact, my old band's name, I named it Dream Seeds. And the reason I named it Dream Seeds is because the whole intention was to plant the seeds to inspire people to follow their dreams.
Nice.
And so we're all a piece of the puzzle of transforming this really dysfunctional, consumerist, hungry system that we're in into something that is beneficial for all of us, and beneficial for the planet as well, and all beings that exist on the planet. And that's what excites me about crypto as well. And that's what excites me about Steem It, because here we're creating creations and we're getting remunerated at the same time. It's inspiring everybody to make creations. And if there is something that separates us from the animals, if there is a big fat if there, it's probably the ability to create art, an expression of consciousness, an expression of emotion. And anyway, I hope people are out there are feeling that vibe,
Are
feeling the love
engaged.
vibe.
I don't know. I don't know. Nathan, thank you for sharing this part of your spirit and your journey. I can sympathize with some of the troubles. I can empathize with what you're going with, and I can certainly experience the sharing and the heart that you are providing for all of us. So thank you for that giving and that sharing.
Oh, thanks, brother. And thanks to everybody there that's tuned in right now and helping. You know, we're all helping connect. Like Crystal, she's connected me with you guys, really. And wow, what a community! I wish you all lived in the same street. Because I think I'd rather live with you guys, like in the same street, and mow your lawns, and grow food for you. Because I like growing food, by the way.
As do I. It's on my radar to get back into. I got to go get on to my next guest, but I'll share briefly. I love aquaculture and I love hydroponics, and there's this thing called aquaponics. So you combine. A lot of the Australians know about this because there's an Australian that's extremely prominent in this field. But you grow
Bill Mollison,
you grow fish. You give them fish food. They piss and shit in the water. The plants. You pump that water up to a grow bed. The plants will take the nutrients from the water, so they'll clean out the fish shit and piss. They will absorb it. Yep. They'll create absolutely amazing food out of it, and then give back clean water to the fish. And so your input is fish food, and your output is some of the most breathtakingly fresh, tasty, vibrant vegetables ever.
Cyclical, yeah.
And it's on my. I gotta get this thing out of my brain because I'm not quite ready to do this yet. But I definitely want to go get my aquaponics going. I like thinking about my fish. I like thinking I hope they're okay. I like growing my vegetables, and I like how my kids will interact with them and feed the fish and grow the plants and have a sense of where their food comes from and how they grow it and how we eat, and that it's not just some processed piece of shit in a store, but like, you know, I grew this, I made this, and it's delicious, and this is what it's supposed to taste like.
Dude, I've been growing food since I was 10 years old, and wherever I move to, even if I'm only living in a house for like 6 months, I'll make a little veg patch and leave it there as a gift for the next tenants. Because I want to inspire people on that level that look, humans were connected to their food for tens of thousands of years, and suddenly in the modern era, we're so disconnected. And coming back to that connection is so vitally important. And even if you're living in an apartment, you can join a local garden co-op and food co-op. When you grow your own organic veggies and you show your kids, which is certainly what I do, and they get out in the garden with me, it's amazing just to watch your child like go and pick a couple of beans off a vine, a bean vine, or this is, and it shouldn't be amazing. It should just be normal and natural, right? But instead, we grow grass everywhere. We grow lawns everywhere. And but there are amazing people out there that are doing sort of recalcitrant, rebellious food gardens in random places. Yeah, and I love that kind of stuff.
Like guerrilla gardening.
I was I guess lucky enough to have had Bill Mollison, the progenitor of permaculture, take me around his incredible permaculture land. Oh God, it would have been 1998 or 99, around then. And and that took the whole thing a whole nother level. I've got a musician friend of mine that all he sings about is permaculture on his ukulele. He's hilarious. You should check him out. He's goes under the name of I'm going blank right now. Something vegetable sound system. I'll think of it and I'll post it up some point.
There's a Chinese proverb of if you want to be happy for a short while, drink. If you want to be happy for a long while, find love. And if you want to be happy forever, start a garden or go be a gardener.
Mm. Yeah, look, as a touring musician, it was the one thing that kept me, as well as Didge. As soon as I got home, I go put my fingers in the garden. I go do some gardening, and then all of the, energies, positive and negative, crazy and whatever that fly around when you're on tour in festivals and pubs and venues all around Australia and overseas. As soon as you put your hands in the soil, boom. And often I'll do my veggie patch. I'll do my gardening nude for that very reason. Not in winter, but in winter in Byron I did, but not down here in Melbourne. It's too bloody cold.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I do a naked run every single year. That's part of my New Year's Eve celebration. In fact, this might be the first year in almost 10 years I missed my run. But yeah, there's something about connecting with the earth while naked that you can't replicate.
No, yeah, absolutely. Nude ain't rude. I was a part of a rally in Byron Bay many years ago. Byron Bay is like the hippie town of Australia, right?
Somehow I'm betting that there's more than one.
There's a few, yeah. That's probably the big mecca of it. I guess it's somewhere between Sedona and what's another spiritual town in America? Probably Ashland, Oregon, or something like that. Anyway, yeah, we did a Nude Ain't Rude rally. That was pretty. And so every time there's some kind of world crisis, you'll get 700 women get nude and make some kind of spelling out of some kind of word, like "stop the war" or something like that, and that gets a lot of press and then gets around. That we've made the nude body, our natural state, illegal is kind of bizarre, isn't it?
Not given everything else that the people in control of this planet like to do. It seems like yet another wonderful thing to cause separation amongst us in our home. But we gotta Nathan, I could talk to you for days. I'm gonna go bring on my next guest, which is gonna be Movement 19. And I'm not kicking you out for any other reason than other people
Blessings.
get to share too. But you're awesome. Again,
Thanks,
you have my support. I've re-steamed a couple things by you already. As you're creating content, as you want to get it out there, shoot it my way. I can't do that indefinitely, but I do want to help some of the awesome people here get started. And whatever I can do to support you, I'm in it.
Cheers, brother. Sorry for hogging the airways, everybody. And thanks for listening.
All right.
See you next time.
Awesome. Well, I'm hoping there is a next time. I'd love to have you back, Nathan.
Oh, no, I'm addicted to this msp-waves radio stuff. Oh, my God. Are you kidding?
Well, I hope to see you next week.
Sweet.
All right. That was Nathan K. You guys got to go check him out. Check out his blog. Help him. Help Zipporah. Make sure that our lovely Steem It musicians get onto the air. I'm going in chronological order here, so I'm going to go bring Movement 19 up. And then, like we often do, I think I'm going to go end the show with Team Steem, unless there's somebody else that's kind of dying to get up in here. I know that Penchy was thinking about doing something, and was there somebody else I saw? I don't know. Oh, and Torco, that's right. And Torco wanted to go come on too. So I will make room for if you're looking to go get on air, please hop into the waiting room, get sound checked, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to unmute Movement 19, and hopefully Movement 19 can speak.
Yes, here I am.
Hey, welcome. How are you?
Hey, thank you.
I've seen you chatting in Minnow support. I'm not sure that you and I have interacted all that much yet, but it is lovely to have you here. How are things tonight?
Yeah, thank you. I have actually listened to your show at least once before, as well as Pensif and all the other wonderful hosts here.
What'd you think of today? I thought it was like these people are pretty amazing.
You know what? Like, I had no idea at first. I was just kind of like, I was talking to Pensif, and he just kind of suggested, "Why don't you jump on the air?" Because wanted to make sure that my mic and everything worked through Discord, because I do some podcasting of my own and been trying to transition into Discord and like all these different decentralized platforms that are very new to me. So that's kind of why I jumped in here tonight.
Oh, hold on, I gotta stop you there. I know you have other pertinent things. What's your podcast about?
Say that again.
What do you podcast about, or what is your podcast?
Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and tell you, because what you guys just talked about really set me up. Because, well, first of all, Nathan, big up, you, awesome job. I am following you, and I want to keep up with what you're doing. So first and foremost, I'm a DJ. I've been a DJ for about 33, 34 years now. I started DJing in the mid 80s, and I got heavily involved in the New York City rave scene in 1992, and it's pretty much been nonstop since then. So that's like my number one passion, is DJing and producing and whatnot. But
do you want a show on MSP-waves?
Actually, yeah. Well, that's something that we've already been talking about. Rondon and I had talked about it, and actually had spoken to Global Cop, and yeah, I'm so totally down.
All right, let's make it happen.
Cool. Yeah. So basically, what I'm doing at this point, after many years of on and off with DJing and different career endeavors, and pretty hefty running with the law, and having spent some time incarcerated, then my family and I wound up homeless about 5 years ago, and that led me into going to college. I mean, I dropped out of 8th grade and had no interest in education after that. But I found it difficult to kind of, get back into the working world and get into some semblance of like a normal life after being incarcerated and dealing with some mental health issues. So college was a really good option. I managed to get a lot of money for free, not necessarily money, but a lot of support and financial aid and whatnot. So my family and I were able to live, and I wound up just loving it. I learned so much. I validated a lot of thoughts and beliefs and things that I'd been kind of learning over the years throughout my life. And that led me to a friend of mine who reached out to me. He noticed I've been having some struggles. Was posting on the F word. I refuse to say it. And he was following me, and he reached out to me, and he had moved to Massachusetts recently, where cannabis is now legal, and he's been a grower and cultivator for many years, an expert grower. So he'd been looking for people to partner with. He picked up a 1 acre micro farm along the south coast of Massachusetts, and him and an old friend of his came up with the idea to start this company or business called iHeart Organic, EYE Heart. And the idea was to kind of develop this micro farm for growing organic vegetables, growing cannabis. The cannabis they wanted to mostly like donate and provide for medicinal use, and they wanted to kind of like create like a lifestyle brand. And I guess I had kind of introduced them to the idea of zero waste and sustainability through my postings on the F word over the years. And so they wanted to really put that into practice and adopt a lot of that. So he reached out to me and said, look, I know you're having some trouble, and we've got an opportunity for you to come up here and work with us and live with us. And so that's something that's been going on for about the last 6, 7, 8, 9 months of our lives, my family's lives, me, my wife, and 2 kids. So I'm the VP, and another one of my titles at iHeart Organic is Zero Waste Coach. So it's sort of my job around here is to do some of the managerial administrative stuff, to do our online social media marketing and public relations, and at the same time develop some of our zero waste and sustainable practices and protocols. And I have to say, it's been a bit of a struggle, but it's fun, and it's really, it keeps me on my toes.
Can you say what town you're in? Is that allowed?
Yes. Yeah, of course. If it's okay, I'll give out the website. We have a website which is attached to a WordPress blog right now.
Yep. So you got to make that a Steem webpage, but okay.
See, Steem is extremely new to me. I was brought into Steam by White Walking Feather, Robin the Paget family, who I've been friends with for years, and also John Vibes, who you guys probably know a little bit about. He's a famous author, lecturer for the Free Thought Project, and runs the Free Your Mind conference. So they started posting on Facebook, on the F word, about Steam It, and I was like, it looked interesting. So I just started on Steam It a little over a month ago, and it's been a complete and total game changer. The whole decentralized platform, the permanent web and whatnot. I was a little bit savvy with HTML and all that back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I'm kind of picking it up very quickly at this point and starting to understand crypto. And I myself and I'm a pretty hardcore, adamant anarcho-agorist, with socialist ideals, kind of bordering on communist, not really, but so Steam, it just really made sense to me right off the top, and I love especially what you guys are doing. The PalNet and MSP it's amazing.
We do our best. What town is this in? You gotta go start there.
Oh yeah, so we're along the south coast of Massachusetts. We're in East Freetown. It's one of the oldest settled towns in America. Actually, I think it was in the late 1600s. And what I love about this area, I moved up here from New Jersey, which is like a complete and total police state, and up here, it's basically a huge farming community, and it's not just a farming community. We're getting involved and meeting all the right people, and it seems like all the big players around here are into sustainability, micro farms, and homesteading. And when I say zero waste to these people, they don't even flinch. They're all about it. A lot of them are already practicing some of these things, so it seems like I fit right in.
All right, well, I want to come visit. I don't know if you know this, but I live about an hour and a half away, and I used to be a professor down there. So I got a buddy I'd like to go see anyways, and I need a good excuse to head down there. But that's about an hour and 20 minutes for me. So,
yeah, please do. Yeah, I actually was talking to some people about hosting a meetup here, and then I saw that I guess you're hosting, or you have something going on this Saturday in Boston.
We're gonna do a Boston meetup. We'll do some Japanese food in the middle of the day. We're gonna go to Night Move, which is a board game cafe. And we'll sit around and we'll play some board games and get to go meet one another in sort of a social Steam, but also just hang out and chill kind of setting.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I definitely would like to. I'd like to at some point offer our facility, because we don't just have a micro farm here. The property has a big old wooden rustic barn that was built in the early 1900s, and has a lot of additions, and like it's pretty big, and we've been using it as sort of a clubhouse / boardroom. We'd like to have seminars and classes and all kinds of stuff here. So I would love for anybody in the Steam community in the area to be involved, and don't be a stranger.
Yeah, well, I think if we tell them that it's part weed farm and part vegetable farm, and zero waste and kind of this sustainable lifestyle, there would actually be quite a number of people that would be willing to come down, if nothing else, to try to score some weed. But I think a lot of them would be there down for the cause and down for the mission.
For sure. We're not harvesting yet. We're actually nowhere near it. But it's funny, you guys mentioned aquaponics right at the end of Nathan's little bit there, and that's one of the things we're doing too. Our president, his name is Robert Ryan. He's actually a professor. Oh God, which school now escapes me, but one of his former students, he's a business professor, and one of his former students is now sort of an aquaponics expert, and he's going to be coming here and building the whole setup. We're starting with like a 450-gallon tank, and I don't want to say too much because I haven't studied much about aquaponics, so I won't do it much justice, but it's something I'll be writing about in our blog as it develops, and posting pictures and videos of that.
All right. Well, I want to come down with a camera, and I want to go spread what you're doing to 16,000 odd. Actually, this is good enough that I'd go put Minnow support, Love Juice, and a couple other places. I can probably get 30,000 accounts to see this.
Sure. The more the merrier.
And I'd like to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that we've kind of agreed with iHeart Organic. Like, while we'd like to make a living and we need to pay our bills, the lifestyle brand itself, it's kind of developed to kind of give everything away ultimately. Where we're like, one of the things I'm doing right now, our first products that I'm working on are these all-in-one sustainable household cleaning kits, and we're eventually going to be doing like these all-in-one raised bed gardening kits. So the cleaning kits is something I'm pretty passionate about. My wife and I stopped buying any and all household cleaning agents and health and beauty products about 5 years ago. So we either don't use or we make all of our own things, and so that's something we're making them, and we're going to be selling them, but we're also going to be selling them with how-tos and DIYs and instructions, and people are welcome to buy the refills from us, but we would also like to teach everybody how to do it themselves.
There was another homesteader recently that did that. I think it was LL Farms.
Yeah, I've been, you know what, they're one of the first people that I've been staying in touch with here. I just kind of started chatting with them here on Discord, and
this is and she's saying this, and this is why Movement and I bonded. Like you two, she immediately came to mind. I needed to take a second to just confirm it was her in my own brain, but like you two seem like you have enough overlap that maybe you can figure out, here are all the different things that you guys can create, co-create, write about, share about, and sort of push one another to the next level.
Oh yeah, we're down for sure.
All right. Okay, as a DJ and as like a, I don't have enough farmers on here talking about what it, time of the year, what it takes to grow things, methodology, business of running a farm, any of that stuff. Because there is actually a pretty good, it's not massive, but there's a homesteading community that's here. And I think we could grow it because independence of Steem, make money from home, blog about what you're doing. Farming is cool. Sustainability is cool. I'd love if you wanted to go do like a farming show or a sustainable living show or something like that. I bet Torco would get involved in the sustainable living aspect.
For sure. One of the things I want to kind of to get off my chest about Steem is like initially what drew me, which I think probably a lot of people will agree, was the idea that, oh my God, I could kind of like screw around on social media and make money. And I realized very quickly that I kind of felt bad after a couple of weeks. I was like, oh, that's really not what this is about. I mean, sure, like the aim is to sort of generate value and sustain your life. But I went through the whole feeling bad thing, but then I realized, I said, well, especially after talking to White Walking Feather and John Vibes and a couple other people who are very active in the community, and I realized it's, a lot of our goals, a lot of us individually and collectively, is to become sustainable, to live off grid, to sort of phase, fiat currency out of our lives and the dependence on any and all grids and supermarkets and those sort of things. And so I kind of feel less bad focusing on the aspect of making money, because ultimately the goal is to no longer need to do that, so I think a lot of people, I've noticed people discussing that and kind of going through those emotions. So I really wanted to get that off my chest, and I hope that helps some other people, especially the newcomers like myself.
Okay, the slogan here is come for the money, stay for the community.
Exactly.
We give out money for free with the free upvote bot, but like if all your interaction here is just for the upvote bot, you have missed the vast majority of the potential here. Like that thing, I used it to go help my dad get started. I gave him like an 11-cent reward. Like if that's the motivation, you are steaming wrong. Like that 11 cents isn't the thing that's going to like change your life and your world.
No. I mean, just this conversation between you and I is already, I feel like it's already taken myself and some other newcomers I brought to Steem it to another level of understanding of what this community is about.
Sorry, we're getting drop frames. 791 for me. I don't know if that doesn't look recent. It might be. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it now.
Drop it like it's hot.
Okay, so you got a farm. You're a VP of sort of marketing for this place. You got a podcast. Was this the scope of things you want to talk about? I'm getting later into the night, so I still have 3 more people that I need to bring on here, and really only like about an hour left of my brain to go.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we can keep it short and sweet. I mean, I wanted to kind of get in touch with you guys and sort of break the ice and fill you in on what was going on. I noticed that you're in the area. Um, I'm willing to share as much of what's going on here, and my podcasts right now are
Shit. Hold on.
are
We disconnected. Yeah, this wasn't purposeful. This is the second one tonight. No, we're back. Reconnection successful.
okay.
The universe doesn't like
Rondon says we're good.
Zippy or movement. All right, I'm just gonna wait until I can hear that the sound is back. Can the audience hear us? Man, CLL Farms is saying they got nothing. So we gotta wait for another moment or two. I think it'll come back.
Yeah, it seems intermittent. I've noticed that I really like Discord, but I noticed that it's really a bandwidth hog. It's I don't know. It's not the smoothest.
Yeah, that's on them though. I mean, what the system Ron's got is pretty good. So we're back up and running. Okay, movement. What I want to do, I'm going to come down. I'm sort of busy on Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I could probably go drive down to the South Shore and go visit. And hopefully I could go score like a lunch or dinner with my buddy that's down there and make that like a nice full day's activity. Could this week work for you guys?
Absolutely. You are welcome here. I stick around Monday through Friday to do my blogging, podcasting, and work around the property and watch the kids and whatnot. My wife and I are radical unschoolers. So the kids are here all the time, and it does take quite a bit of energy, but it's worth it. But yeah, come hang out. Come, let's talk. Let's chit chat. Eat with us, whatever. Smoke with us. Bump some tunes and figure out what we can do.
All right. Well, let's figure that out. Please message me a day that would work. I would figure sometime around noon is when I'd show up.
Okay.
And I could make Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday work, I think.
Sure thing.
So let's put that on the books. I'll bring a video camera. We'll film this bitch and see what it's like, see what we get, see what stories we can tell, and hopefully I can help spread the word of what you guys are doing and why you're doing it and support your mission.
Zipporah, film that bitch. You got it. I got a camera too, so we'll go at it.
All right. Well, sounds awesome. All right, Movement 19, thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for talking about the farm, and I look forward to seeing it soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
Rock on. All right, we'll talk soon, and hopefully I'll see you this week.
Peace and love, everybody.
All right, that was Movement 19. Please make sure that you follow his blog and pay attention for the next couple days, because we're going to go get some live footage of the two of us interacting out there, and that should be good. And now a man that needs no introduction, in part because he put out yet another giant post today. This is Team Steem. He's one of the founders of the Minnow Support Project. He is able to go award literally $2,000 a day in rewards to folks. He doesn't self-vote. This guy's pretty amazing. He very rarely self-votes, and there's probably not a single person that's in here that hasn't been touched, at least in part, by the votes that he's been doing. So I'd like to give a very warm welcome to my brother in arms, Team Steem. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Thanks for that awesome introduction, Agro. Yeah, I don't know what to. What?
How have you been enjoying the show tonight?
I miss the first part of the show, but it was really good. What I picked on it was really good. I mean, obviously, the food that we grow is the most important thing that we can. It's our survival depends on it. The quality of the food, how we produced it, and how we produce it. Sorry, and it's primordial to who we are, what we eat, the health that will result from this. And so it's no ordinary job, it's not a job that is fanciful, we cannot do without it. So and we need to reconnect with this. I don't even know, there's so many stuff we don't know about how to grow our own food, yet we spend so many years into, well, those indoctrination camp, which some people dare to call educational or school stuff like that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Nathan was really he's a really awesome person, so I really
He's very
enjoy his
compelling.
music.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
how's your witness campaign going? You've it looks like you've
Um,
been moving up the ranks a little bit.
yeah, I'm not sure. Did I move today? I didn't look at it today, but yeah, overall it's all been great. Steam has been awesome for me, and I hope I can give back to you guys. I've been given so much. A lot of people say or thank me for my generosity, but all of this or most of this has been given to me. So I'm trying to give back as much as I've been given, whether it is through my votes or writing. And yeah, I just wanted to pop on the show and say hi to everyone. It's a bit stressful all the time, but I enjoy it. And yeah, it's my birthday today, so
Hey,
yeah,
congratulations. How
thanks.
old are you?
I'm turning. I just turned 34, and so I had a birthday party yesterday, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun time. Thanks everyone for the birthday wishes.
Congratulations.
Uh, yeah, so I guess my present was to be able to give back to people. I mean, present we usually receive present, but in a sense, giving back is as good or even better, because if you're able to give, then it means you have something. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I had nothing prepared. I'm very happy to see everyone here enjoying the show uh, each and every week. Yeah, thanks for inviting people to vote for my witness. I hope you guys enjoyed my latest post. Um, it has received a lot of positive review, and I was wondering what you guys think. I was thinking about a vote or buying vote for this post because I wanted to stay in the trending page as long as possible. And I feel like I'm not I I have issues with bots, but now that they exist, I think people should use them, and I feel like Steam will evolve, and whether or not, if bots are problematic, we will find solutions to make the best out of it, or just make or change the economic incentives so that they will be phased out. But we'll see. So um, it's always tricky to, because you can have blowback if you use them too much or abuse them. So I just don't know, but I think I'm going to use them because I really want this post to stay on the trending page and to get as much views as possible.
Yeah, and
So
you
that's
don't
my
need all that much. 17 hours ago yesterday. My guess is that if you put like 1 or 200 bucks of or 1 or 200 SPD down, that would be enough to get you back into the top trending spot. And presumably, I mean, you touch nearly everybody on this platform with your votes. I mean, I would hope that other people, once they see your post and see it on trending, if they didn't see it in their own feed anyways, would help elevate it and keep it up there.
good point. That's a good point. And but what about, having it the post that is trending for the longest time? But
Yeah,
I'm
look, man, you're not a shit poster, So
Yeah.
frankly, I made this joke a little while back that was tongue in cheek, but I actually mean it. If you don't use bidbots, then the terrorists will win. Meaning the people that make shit posts. If you don't try to take some of the value from them, then you will make it less expensive for the shit posters to use them. So as long as there's voting, there will be people buying and selling votes. I prefer it to be open and public and available to everybody on the platform. So that's one. I think it's a great equalizer, which is why one of the main reasons why I like bidbots. If we get rid of bidbots, it doesn't mean that the buying vote stops. It just means that nobody has the same level of access anymore. Then it's really like this, who do you know and do you know the whales because you're the only person that can buy the votes, and that's the shady crap. But if you're a good poster and you post pretty damn infrequently, if you post infrequently, you write good stories and you help the hell out of this platform, by all means, I would encourage you to use them. Not even think twice about using them, and I don't know, go at it.
Yeah, that's my take too overall. So yeah, I was just asking, to I guess get this conversation going. Um, I see a lot of people sometimes complain about Steam, and it will this will last for as long as Steam exists. But we need to give Steam some times. Things are being developed and worked on, and so yeah, let's just give Steam some times. We're going to the moon. Can we at least give it some times that so that we really ironed out what has to be ironed out?
I don't think people have been that harsh as of late. I mean, I'm
Um,
used to hearing like a lot of shit being tossed at Steam it, and I feel like a lot of that has died down recently.
Yeah, but there's still people complaining, and the thing is we're going to evolve. We're going to solve the issues. We have all the incentives to solve the issues, and we can vote for the people who accept the new rules. We vote for the witnesses, and all of us together, we're smarter than us, individually. So we're going to solve those issues, and we're going to phase out centralized social network. That's how I see it. Yeah, sure, there are issues, just like any other companies goes through issues, but companies are trying to favor or to be the most profitable for the shareholders at the expense of the customers. Sometimes they're going to produce shit product, or at least they're going to try to get away with giving as few as they can or as little as they can, and try to make as much money as they can. But on Steam it's very different. On any decentralized platform it's very different. We're turning things upside down, or on its head.
Yeah, no, I buy into this vision too. I'm right there with you. It should be awesome. I like where we're going. I like what this um, I like where we're headed, and I have I have some reservations about Steam It, but frankly, I think that they're doing a pretty damn good job. Other companies, if they put out 19 different versions of the software within a year and a half, people wouldn't be telling them, you guys are too slow and you suck. Like that, to be able to grow like they're growing, to be able to take our price from 7 cents up to $4, it even spiked up in the high nines. Um, you know, these guys aren't total idiots like some people like to portray them as. And even though they're not working on the thing that you think is important, um, that doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just means that they have a different set of priorities. And when I listen to them, I think, um, you know, the plan that they're enacting is to sort of help advocate for the chain and really be the block layer experts, like make sure that the technical capabilities of this blockchain are bar none the best, and leave the apps and some of the prettying up of the website to everybody else. I think that makes a ton of sense. And so I'm actually personally filled with some confidence that we're on the right track.
And everyone can participate if they think that um, Steemit Inc. isn't doing the right job. Then if you're a developer, then just learn the code and add add to the code. And if you're not developers, then you should have some reservation about what you're talking about. You can, our opinion still has value, but we don't know the code. We don't know necessarily all of the limitation and everything that Steemit incorporated as to face. So yeah, in that sense, I'm with you. I agree that Steemit is a very good team of developers, and they're very. I feel like their work is very exceptional in the cryptocurrency space.
Especially while they're taking shit for it. And, they don't, I think that they hold their ground pretty well. Maybe they're not quite as responsive as we'd all like, but they're also not out there telling people to shut up or being unprofessional about it. They just put their nose to the grindstone and get it done. And, I don't want to be like some idiotic fanboy for them, but I do like what they're doing. I do think we're on the right track. I do like the vision of we're going to go be the chain experts, and we're going to help make this the best chain to build apps on and make sure it can scale. And some of that stuff isn't sexy or flashy, but that's exactly the kind of mentality that's going to help lift us from 60,000 active users per day to 600,000 active users per day. It's not going to be, the chain needs technological improvements, and that's what they're focusing on. And a year from now, when we're sitting at 600,000 active users, you're going to be thankful for all the effort that they did. Not you in particular, because I know that you're on board, but to the audience members that think Steem isn't doing enough, I'd just say these guys are doing a great job, and improvements are coming. They're not always visible on the front end, but the things that they're doing on the back end are really going to help launch this platform.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're criticizing Steemit when we don't agree. We don't necessarily agree with everything that Steemit does, but I think overall they're doing a good job. Um, Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good time. I hope you guys. Thanks for all the birthday wishes again. I think Creamy, you should do a poetry now that you launched that idea. I think you should do it. Just don't advance those things without substance. Yeah, for me, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to jump in and thank everyone and say hi to everyone and put myself into some, to put myself out of my comfort zone and to push myself to express myself and to try to be helpful for people and to try to be here for people. And we're working towards making this world a better place, and we're making it happen. I feel like we're at the avant-garde of this revolution. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, humanity is faced with a challenge. I would say a challenge where some people are working towards more centralization and more to themselves and ever less to everyone else. And I feel like all of us on Steemit are working on the opposite side, where we want everyone to be empowered, and we want fairer system of fairer system in everything, and more power to everyone else, or more power to everyone, and less injustice or less poverty, and more abundance for everyone.
Well, And you certainly bring the abundance. I mean, $2,000 over a day.
Sorry?
You certainly bring the abundance. You know, helping people to the tune of $2,000 a day with upvotes for their content, for their personality, for their projects. You help so many people on this platform. I'm a recipient. I'm grateful for your assistance. And if you guys aren't voting for Team Steem as a witness, you're missing one of the best people on the platform.
Hey, thanks for having creating this this group. And having reached out to me in the beginning, and um, it's hard to describe what we're going through right now. It's just hard to describe what I'm going through right now. You know, I'm giving all this, but I cannot even. I haven't posted my Steemit post yet on my Facebook. I'm going to post this on my Facebook, and I'm kind of excited to see what people will say about it, because not that many people realize what I'm doing on Steam. Some of my closest friends have no idea. They are asking me, like, you left your job now. How are you paying your mortgage? And I tell them I pay with Steemit points as a joke. You know, my bank accepts Steemit point or whatever. You know, they aren't quite getting it. They aren't. I told them to join, and I'm a bit frustrated by this. So I'm not pressuring them. I'll just show them, you know, this is what's happening, and I leave the opportunity for people who are ready, and the people who are ready are the people listening right now, and they are involved and trying their best every day. So,
all right. Well, you guys have been listening to Team Steem. Team Steem is a wonderful witness on the blockchain. He's currently witness 31. Hopefully through your vote and votes of people that you will tell, hey, Team Steem's one of the guys that needs a little leg up here. Hopefully we can get him a little higher up in the ranks, and you know, please go vote for him. Please help support him. He helps support this place. So if you've gotten any benefit out of the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty Network or the Minnow Support Project, if you've been able to use the bots, if you've gotten upvotes from this guy that have helped you stay here, have helped you grow an account, you know, it doesn't cost you anything to go vote for his witness, but it can make a difference in terms of, like, are we going to be the type of people that support self-voting circle jerkers that don't enlarge this community and support more people, or are we going to help people like Team Steem that selflessly put their voting power to use to grow the network and support this entire ecosystem? And to me, it's a no-brainer to support this guy, and I hope that you do as well.
Thanks everyone, and great show again, Agro. You're giving a lot to this community and Steem, and not just Steem, but to the world overall. We're going for larger than Steem. We're going to help everyone, even those who aren't on Steem. I'm seeing some people using posts to make money and then give back to some people who have no idea what Steem is. So it's very good.
All right. Well, you guys have been listening to Team Steem. Thanks so much for coming on to the show. I'm going to go bring on Petchy next, and thanks for being here, Team Steem, and thanks for helping me create this place, and thanks for supporting all the minnows that are in here.
Thanks. And I received a couple of votes already on my witness from this talk. So thanks to everyone.
Awesome. All right. Well, you've been listening to Team Steem. Let me go grab Petchy. Petchy has already sound checked with Ron. And so you are listening to msp-waves. It's about 11 o'clock. I can hear the guitar in the background.
Hello.
How's it going? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Now, if you guys don't know, Minnow is like a nonstop present within the Minnow Support Project. This is Minnow's brother, and I keep struggling with how to say your name.
Well, it's It's my last name and my nickname. It's Petiche. It's just Petiche.
Petiche Mena.
Yeah.
Petiche.
Mena is our last name.
All right. Which one of you is the older brother?
It's Jose Antonio, which he's not here. Then it's Minnow, and I'm the third one.
Are you the baby, or do you have a younger sibling too?
No, I'm the baby.
All righty. So it sounds like you're gonna go play some guitar and maybe sing for us.
Yeah. If there is time.
Yeah. No, there's absolutely time. It's 11 o'clock. I have. I'm gonna go bring you on, and I think we're gonna end the show with Torco, unless there was somebody else that wanted to go hop on here as well.
Cool.
What's the name of the song? What's inspiring you here?
Well, today I've been working on something a little different. There's a little initiative that I talked to Minnow a couple of hours ago, because I was thinking about getting this little initiative of covering another Steemian in a way to pledge for support for other musicians in the community.
Nice.
So the whole reason why this started is, I guess, Tarot by Fergus was the first one I knew of that covered another Steemian. He covered Basil Marples, and he got a kick out of it, and then he covered him back. So I was thinking, well, who is one of my favorite Steem musicians? Because I've been here into the Steem songwriting compilation that Bunny made.
Yep.
And there's a particular Steemian that I really like his songs that goes with the username Afra. And as I was like searching his blog, it's like, okay, what is this guy up to? And he hasn't logged in for like 20 days. And all I see is some posts like made little sense. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe this guy got discouraged, and or maybe he's on vacation. I'm just guessing. So I'm like, oh, I really wouldn't like this guy to leave just because he didn't know how to make it in the open mic community. So I was thinking, maybe I can cover a song for him. I can pledge whatever SVD I make out of the cover and just transfer it to him in a way to get him motivated again. Because I think we as artists, I really don't want to make the open mic and the music community just the race for SVD. But also, I mean, we owe our art and music to the people that listen. So if somebody else covers us and just gives us his support in that way, then I guess this kind of brings us closer, and it just makes the whole music community a better place. We can actually make it stronger in a standpoint of actually supporting each other's music.
Well, that's awesome.
So I thought I would take a risk and try to perform his songs. This is a song called "Singin' Winds" for the user Afra, and I'm actually gonna do a post of this. I'm gonna try to perform it, and whatever that post makes, I'm gonna put this tomorrow. I promise I'm gonna send all the rewards to him.
Nice. Very thoughtful, very cool. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm gonna put the lyrics here because since it's not my song, I might get a little lost. So here we go. Can you hear the guitar?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Okay. Here goes nothing. Today I sit near the statue of gold, while the wind blows on the river shore. Watch the sky change shade from the lightest blue to the lightest pink. And now prayer flags are soaring. And now cold winds are singing. Everything in rhythm with the song that's playing. The wings, the flats, the leaves, they are swaying. Prayers of hope, prayers of peace. Will they be heard? Answer they will be. And now prayer flags are soaring. And now the cold winds are singing. Hi-ya, ya, ya. 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 Hi-ya, ya.
Hooray! You know, I think you just did that song a lovely justice, and that you know, who wouldn't if you're gonna sing a cover of somebody else's song, you know, you would hope it would end up sounding like that. That was super well done.
Well, thank you. Well, it's opera song, and I really like that song. It touched me. So it's like I really think if we like an artist, we should tell him.
Yeah, and you know,
we should let him know that a song touched us, because I guess that's our real pay. So that's for him. I hope he sees the post tomorrow and he hops back into songwriting.
well, make sure that you leave it as a comment for him on his wall, or maybe on the post that.
Yeah, we'll do for sure.
And go DM me that when you release that. I'll go send that out into the world and try to get some extra eyes on it.
Oh, thank you. I will surely do that.
Well, it's my pleasure. All right. Well, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. It's getting late, so my ability to do small talk and just check in with people is fading.
Okay.
But your family's awesome. I'm so grateful to have you and your brother Minnow here. And I don't know. I hope to keep hearing you guys perform, sing, philosophize, and just share your time, your energy, and your really warm spirit with us all.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm definitely gonna stick around, because at least I speak for musicians, but I know we're going places, so you don't want to miss out on this, because we're gonna do some big changes on the music scene, I'm sure.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping that I can help it get there.
Well, see you guys later. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your words.
Rock on.
Stick around.
All right, so I got one more guest that I want to go bring on. You guys should all know this lady by now. She's been on the show probably more than anybody else to date. This is a lovely lady by the name of Toriko. Toriko, are you there?
I am here.
Now, Toriko, my brain is starting to fade. I'm not drinking. I'm just like.
You're tired.
It's
tired.
11:07
for you. I understand.
I went swimming. I did some weightlifting, and I took a red eye yesterday because I was in California sometime on Friday, So now I'm back on the East Coast, and I'm a little wiped, and I can just.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short and concise and not plague you too much.
Well, just be a little gentle with me. That's all I ask.
Okay. Well, it's I try to always be gentle. I don't always succeed, and I do have an issue,
All
and
right.
it's not a hard one, but you might not agree with it. Excuse me, and you're welcome to say so. But it has been talked before. It has been brought up before. And I will start out by saying for the last couple weeks, I have been working with the moderators and trying to help out in registration. And it's a challenging job, and I did not do so well. And I had to pull back. And from that experience, I got to see a lot of what the moderators do and the type of commitment they have to, and just what they do on a daily basis, and the total grip that they have to have on their self-control and their boundaries. And it's not something everybody is well suited for. As a matter of fact, it's something that people can do. And I have a unique ability to be a pain in the ass. And I speak out for what I believe in. And I speak out when I see something that needs to be done, I feel is right. So, I'd like your support on a post and an initiative, and I believe it was brought up weeks ago. It's an initiative to help the moderators have some security. And it's also an initiative in this particular case because I see the most need. Pay disco.
To pay disco?
Pay disco.
Okay. Yeah. So we, I don't know if you know this, we put out a post not in the too distant past where, I think we put out a post. I'm not entirely sure about this, but we changed some of the rules within the Minnow Support Project so that when any of the moderators post, 25% of the rewards go to the moderator that authored it, 25% goes to the pool for the moderators, and then the other 50% stays with Minnow Support. And a lot of that actually ends up going back to MSP mods. So, there's not.
Okay, I know you're cutting out a little bit, and I'm trying to hear you. I know that exists, and I think that's nice. I think we can do more. What I would like to see, possibility, I know you have a lot of delegations. You have a delegation for the radio station. You have a delegation for the arts and for music. Need a moderator delegation. I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility.
Well, I have MSP mods, right? MSP-mods.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Do you know that? Here, let me disconnect and reconnect real quick. Do you know that there's an account called MSP-mods? You should, because you get rewarded by it.
I do, but that's not a community delegation. And I'd like to see it where other people in the community can support that delegation.
Okay, actually, so another one that I created today is MSP Active. So let me go pull that up. MSP Active. So this is brand new as of today. I put a 5,000 Steem power delegation to go support the people that are active here. So it delegates to the MSP-active account, and then it votes out to the people that are active. So actually, you're getting a reward from this going forward, but so is Discordian. One of the people that are getting the highest amount, you can do the T server or T top And Tatsumaki will share who are the highest chatters out of anybody, and I put all of them at a 50% vote. Yeah, T3, you're actually on my list, but I actually don't know what your Steem handle is because it can't just be T3. So you're welcome. Here's the post that I made about this. It's literally
Okay,
the
this
last.
is new to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is like 3 hours old. So I'm not surprised
Okay,
that,
great.
that
So
you hadn't heard about this. It is brand spanking new. This has been in the
because you get to
works.
talk about it.
It's been in the works for weeks. I mean, this has been probably even months. But what part of what I'm doing is so I gave a lot of individual delegations to people, and then I noticed that people that had the individual delegations either took like multiple weeks off from Steem, and the delegation was wasted, or I saw them stop being active posters, or even worse, I saw them just selling what they were making on Bittrex. Like the point was to help them grow their account here, not just make money then take off the platform. So I got pretty frustrated by that, and so I said, look, I'm going to go scale back on some of the delegations that I've given. I'm going to create a central repository for people that are active, and then I'm going to go. I'm going to take some of the delegations that I took back from people. I'm going to put them on this account. The next, I put 5,000 to start, hopefully in the not too distant future. I said by the end of March or April, I should have this thing up to 10,000. And maybe by the end of the year, the three next places where I'm going to delegate are, I want to get MSP mods, MSP curation, and MSP active all up to 20,000 Steem power, and I guess and maybe the msp-waves radio too. So the next like 40,000 Steem power that I make, as long as I'm a top 20 witness, I try to keep roughly 5 to 10,000 Steem power on my account, and then I try to delegate everything else. And I try like the 4 projects that I think I'll keep cycling through at this point are MSP mods, MSP curation, MSP active, and MSP waves. And I think I'm done for the most part doing individual delegations because I don't really like how those go, or I didn't like the experience I had with them. So I'm going to go keep these kind of community accounts and then help the people that are active here. And so Discordiant just got another 50% vote from this account, and he'll get money from the posts that we make. Despite the look that like I make zounds of money here, like almost all of what I make is immediately delegated back to these projects. So I would love to like pay these people more. I'd love to do more for them, but I get tapped out. And
no, I totally understand. Like 75% of the people here are asking you for money. I totally understand that.
And I give it. I mean, again, if you look at my account, I have 81,000 Steem power. 74,000 of it is delegated out. I mean, like there's not a lot more wiggle room than that for me to go keep supporting this place.
No, I understand. I just feel, from my unique perspective of working with the mods and seeing what they do, and I know some of them, like Cubby. I'm worried for her. I wonder how she's going to make ends meet.
Yeah. I mean,
this kind of thing occurs to me, and I'm thinking, well, do people think about this? Do they wonder how all of the moderators support themselves outside of the community? And I think, not everybody does.
Well,
and I want to try to bring more awareness to it.
And I'm on board. That's why within the last 2 weeks, like part of this has been, look, we needed to go get Minnow support up to a spot where like it's back in kind of a safe range. And one of the things that happened there was Roland P gave us a 25,000 Steem power delegation. So if you check out at Minnow support right now, we have 100,000 Steem power delegated. There's there's about 18,000 that's now organic on that bot, which is only like 6 or 8 months old, and it's got nearly 18,000 Steem power that's organically there. And now it means that we really don't have to like keep reinvesting everything that we're getting back into Minnow support. Now now we can sort of like take the money that we get and start putting it back into, frankly, I think that the people that deserve it the most are the moderators that are in here all the time, the active community members, the people that run the radio station, and frankly, the people that are doing the curation. And so I'm trying to match that with, here are the delegations to go help them do exactly that. So I think we're in line with what you're doing. I'm going as fast as I can to help.
That's okay. I'm just pushing.
Well, yeah.
I know I'm a pain in the butt.
No, actually, I'm glad that you're thinking about it. I think it's a fair concept. Like, these mods will put in 60 hours in here, and I feel guilty that I don't have more wealth to provide to them. But literally, I have I have every fucking cent. Not every cent.
Well, I wasn't
about
talking
everything.
about you in particular. I'm trying to bring it to the community knowledge so that they can all think about this and say, yeah, what else can I do to support the moderators? How can I, can I give my service? Can I give my money?
Yeah, well, the things that we're always looking for help on is people that go greet new members. And it gets kind of boring and monotonous to go into the help or the registration or to go into the shallow end and just wait and see if somebody stops in and says, hey, welcome to the Minnow Support Project, or welcome to PalNet. We're glad you're here. Where did you come from? How did you hear about us? Just that little bit of chit chat might make the difference between somebody coming and leaving, or somebody coming and maybe engaging a little bit and finding that we are sort of this warm place. But we got 14,000 people that are in here. It's going to be 15,000 by the end of the week. There's people that are in here that could help, but it's going to be hard to help everybody. But the New England colloquialism is many hands make light work. So if we can all kind of pitch in and help greet, if we can all help register people, like you just helped register my dad, if we can chime in and try to provide some of these services, then that's the kind of stuff that makes it easier for the mods to do exactly what they're passionate about, because everybody in here has sort of like a different submission of what really draws them to this place and what they like to work on. And now that the bot is over 100,000 Steem power, which is really like the cutoff that almost all of us have in our head of where we want this thing to be, it makes it so that we can funnel more of the wealth that comes in through the posts and through the projects and through the updates and the curation updates and the reminders of how to be a good minnow and all that stuff. We can start funneling a lot more of that, the SPDs from that into the mods, the curation, to actually paying mods individually. I told them when we get up to maybe 10 posts, that's when I'm willing to go break this thing down and start cutting it up 10 ways for all the different mods to receive some straight cash from this gig.
Excellent. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it.
Well, I know I sound a little defensive, but it's like literally today I just put another 5,000 into this, and I hear your concern. I think you're right, and I'm doing this the fastest that I can. And hopefully, one of the things that I think will happen is that when it looks like the price of Steem is compressing, and one of the things that happens with a compression is that eventually you get the spring effect. And then when we're, right now out of my witness rewards, because this is my full-time job, I take 400 Steem per week, and that's what my family lives off of right now. And what I'm hoping to be able to do is that if the price goes higher, it's not like our lifestyle is going to change that much. It just means that I can take fewer of that reward out and put more of this back into the projects that either help me get elected and into this position, or just help more people that are part of this platform. And so hopefully I can take less and less out of this place and be able to afford the life that we need, and just actually give more and more back to this community. Again, focusing on MSP mods, MSP curation, MSP active, and MSP and msp-waves. Does that sound like an okay mix?
Yeah, my main purpose here isn't to get anything in particular, just to have people be aware of it and to be thinking about it, and to be questioning what else can they do to support the community.
Well, MSP
I think
Active,
that's important.
MSP curation, if you delegate, you don't get anything back. That's just like a straight, if you care and want to see delegation, or if you want to see curation happen, you can support that. msp-waves is one of these community accounts that if you delegate to it, you'll get automatic votes. MSP Active is one of these that if you delegate to it, you'll get automatic votes. MSP Mods, I don't think is set up like that. But you know what? A bunch of the mods have actually pitched in themselves. A bunch of the witnesses pitch into this. And certainly as time goes on, as long as I'm still in the top 20, you know, my goal is to get MSP Active up to about 10,000, and then I'm going to rotate back and get all of these up to 20,000. And maybe by the end of the year, I'll actually be able to do that.
Excellent.
So that's the plan.
All right.
I'm on board.
I just wanted to know there's a plan. I love it that there's a plan. I love it that you're thinking about it. And I thank everybody for listening.
Yeah, and check out the post that I just put out, because hopefully one, you're a recipient of it for your active service to this place, for helping to register people, for being an active chatter. You actually have one of the highest votes out of anybody in here within MSP Active, and thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do here. And
well, to me, it's not about me, because I do what I do like the same, you know, all of the other mods do. I do it because I want to do it. I see a need for helping out, try to support that too. And I see this need to help the mods have some sort of security if things should go wrong.
Well,
do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because oftentimes life sucks, and the fiat terrestrial world is not a friendly place to humans, and jobs lost and small security blankets, and the world seems to create poverty right now, which is why I created this place, and I try to give back as much as I can. But there's, you know, frankly, there is an internet worth of people that need help, and there's a limited amount of resources that I get, and I have to go balance the desire to, you know, spread the values of peace, abundance, and liberty, to help the Steem platform grow, to train and retain minnows on the platform, and the within the financial realm, the mods sort of fit into that third one, although they kind of fit into all three. But helping to train and retain minnows on the platform, that takes a lot of people, because it takes a lot of education, and so I funnel a whole bunch of wealth into that. And I mean, literally, to put this in perspective, what's today's Steem price? 337. So 337, and we can go times that by 74,000. 337 times 74000. I put in $250,000 to help do this. I think that's right. I mean, that's the amount that my Steem is worth. That's the size of investment that I'm making to help keep all this shit run.
Right.
And so I feel pretty good about that. I wish I had more to give.
Feel excellent about that. I think you're doing a great job.
But I still want to do more. I
probably don't say that enough.
You know, I'm just doing the best I can.
We have one more question.
Yeah, hit me.
Well, it's more for the community out there. Who's doing pirate radio? Because I think we need some.
Yeah, I'm totally open for pirate radio. I'm ready to go to bed after this. But if somebody wants to go, hop on. Ron said he was tired.
Yeah, Ron did a.
Minnow could pirate, I bet. Who else is on here? Zarya might be able to pirate, although she doesn't like to talk.
No, she doesn't like to talk.
She likes to hide
Shane might.
Behind her other show hosts.
Well, you know, I'm just putting it out there. Anybody who wants to pirate, now's a good time.
Is Codex even here? I don't see Codex as part of the list. Anyways.
All right. Thanks for your time, Egg.
You're welcome. Torko, thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. I'm glad to have you, and I'm looking forward to helping this community as much as I can.
I look forward to being here.
Here's to the next $250,000 coming into this place.
Thanks everyone for listening to me.
All right. Good night, Torco. Good night, fam. Good night, Digital Homestead. Good night, Moon. Good night, Dog. Good night, Pictures. Whatever. This is a wonderful place. These are wonderful people. I feel an honor. It's an honor to serve here, and it's clearly bedtime because my brain isn't braining so good. But with that, I'm going to say you've been listening to the Minnow Mayor Town Hall. It is 2:25, and not the time, but it's February 25th. And I'm signing off. This is Agrode, currently witness number 10, representing the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty Network and the Minnow Support Project. And this was the Minnow Mayor Town Hall. And thank you all so much for being here. And sweet dreams and good night.